says it's live.
Okay. I'll go in front of the TV monitor. How's that?
Here we go.
Did you use the dumbwaiter?
Yeah. Awesome. Actually,
Okay, we're here at Sister's Tea House in Fenton, Missouri. Tonight's a very exciting ghost hunt here for us. We're taking part in the National Ghost Hunters Days, world's largest ghost hunt. There's over 150 locations going to be doing this tonight at the same time. We started off tonight, our attendees, they're in the other room we're going to go into. They are getting treated to an exclusive high tea from the ghost. So we're going to go in there and start talking to them. And we'll keep this going as long as the battery holds on with the investigation and everything else during the phases here. So come on with me. We have everybody back in here, or are we still missing people? What? Okay, so we'll wait for them to get back. You can show some of the attendees too. And we are Facebook Live now, during part of the events, you guys know. So you can smile, Nathan. You're going out on Facebook Live. And then we have the Pythian Castle tour guide, Melissa, back here. She can smile for our live feed as well. And we have one of our frequent attendees, Melissa, over here. And we have, this is where my brain gets me sometimes. I keep forgetting the name of your group. You forget too. So.
In Search of the Paranormal.
And we have members from In Search of the Paranormal here as well. And other people come from different places. But we'll cover that in a little bit here. We'll let these other two attendees get back. But how did everybody enjoy the high tea? Maybe someday I will have that experience. This is the closest I came to it. Do you think they went to the bathroom or the outside? Okay, here they come.
It's nice that went out on Facebook.
What? Okay. We got one more to wait for and we'll start out there. Nothing like togetherness. Look, Danny, I see leftovers of some of the trays. We might want to incorporate the wrap into this. Okay. Okay, we got everybody back. Well, I guess we'll start talking to you guys now before we get started on the main thing here. But for those, I'll start off by asking, who here is it the first time that won a Paranormal Task Force events? Quite a few. And how many is it the first time at the Sister's Tea House?
Really? That is sensitive.
Well, a lot of newbies to both. And so you guys know I'm Greg Myers. I'm the president of Paranormal Task Force. And some of you are probably wondering what the heck is Paranormal Task Force. We're basically a paranormal organization based in the Midwest now. You know, we're hubbed mainly in the St. Louis area. But we have members as far out as Atchison, Kansas, actually the Pickmans who experience that haunting you've seen on TV are a part of our organization. And we have members over in Decatur, Illinois. And what do we do? There's two things we do. The first thing we do is help those in paranormal need, like a paranormal social service center. If somebody's experiencing the unknown, we help them with it. We'll go in, ask them questions. We'll either help them, come up with an explainable cause, or if it's unexplainable, possibly capture it. And that's for businesses and everything else out there. And we do that free of charge. It's unethical for a paranormal organization to charge for their services. So if you ever get one out there that wants to charge you $200 to do an investigation run, or they want to take your grandma's heirloom telling you, oh, that's causing the haunting. No. And we've heard of this before. So a lot of you guys laugh, but yeah, Nathan's heard of this as well. The second part of our mission is exactly what you're doing here tonight, historical preservation. 100% from this event goes to the Sisters Tea House for historical preservation. And historical preservation is very important. If you go look at your local historical society, you'll be surprised to find some of their youngest members about 69 or 70. We have to get youth involvement. So what I ask everybody to do at all of our events is when you go back home, look up your local historical society in your county or your town and see what you can do to help them. It can be a small donation, helping them with events, getting your kids, grandkids, nephews, nieces, and sisters and brothers involved, and maybe become members. And we've done that for some. One of them is the Minot Britain Historical Society in Potosi. We actually brought youth to their historical society through our events. They got people now in their 20s and 30s helping them. And that's a very, good thing to do. And that's what I'm proud of most is, when we accomplish that as well. And the next part is, what are we going to do tonight? This is not our normal event. This is billed because it's the National Ghost Hunters Days, world's largest ghost hunt. It's not taking place just here. This ain't the largest ghost hunt. But there's over 150 locations internationally connected to a central network. And they're all doing this together between a certain time frame. I think 8:30 to about 11:15 our time. And that's going to take place in 2 phases. The first hour of it's going to be, we're going to start off first at 8:30, and we'll move everybody in that room. And that's going to be the kickoff feed, from the people coordinating this. And that's going to go into the metaphysical hour. And during that hour, we're going to have our 2 sensitives assigned, one to the basement, one up to the 2nd floor, and we'll split you guys so you go along as well and investigate with them. And during that first hour, there's a series of like 6 or 7 questions that they want all these groups doing this everywhere to ask at specific times, like 5-minute intervals. And some of the questions are a little out there, but we're under their control for that part, so we're going to be doing some of that to see if we get answers back. Maybe some of you with voice recorders will go home later and listen to them, and you might have an EVP there with an answer. You want to stay in touch with us and let us know, that happens. Then after that, they're going to have a halftime viewing session for 15 minutes, Sandy?
Yeah, about 10 minutes or so.
And then we're going to phase 2, and that's more or less like a normal investigative setting. That's where we do things our style with you guys, and we'll be doing that the same way up and down. And that lasts for about an hour, then we gather back down in the other room, and then they'll have the closing ceremony. Then after that, you guys will be free to investigate anywhere in here until, we pull the plug. And even though we build it for 3 a.m., we might go a little bit later. So I know this ghost hunt, world's largest ghost hunt, is a little bit complicated and does take away a little bit from everybody. So we'll try to make up for that. And other than that, does everybody know where the bathroom is? Okay, there's bathrooms on each floor actually, but when we break up, we'll show you guys those floors where the bathrooms are as well. And smoking, that's outside. And they're going to be cleaned up once we move out of here. But after this, Sandy's going to do the historical presentation. Our normal person that does it was sick today. So I know Sandy's going to do a wonderful job. And then Danny's...
She's so
She's so
confident.
confident. Right, I'm so confident. I've got her notes and I have her,
And then Danny's going to do the equipment presentation. And we do have different equipment we're going to have set now. And also handheld equipment that you guys could use yourselves like our normal events. So we'll cover that as well.
And also, during the 2 hours that Greg was talking about, like the metaphysical part and then the other investigation. There's going to be live streaming going on. Frankie, he was just there. He's going to be with one group, and then Greg will be doing Facebook Live with the other group. So they may ask you, like, or especially if you've had anything happen to you, or you've sensed anything that you want to share, feel free to, to share that. So maybe asking your experiences.
Do we have PTF people over there still? Can you tell them all to come over here, because I'm going to introduce them all now before I turn it over to Sandy. Before it hits the trash, it could hit my belly.
You got food back there,
I know. Okay, what I'll do real quick here is I'll introduce what? Who is?
No, I'm
Oh,
back.
she's back here.
I'm back.
Since you're talking to her, we get Frankie, turn it down a little bit, maybe.
He was calling us out.
Oh, he was? What was he calling us out for?
For being the only one out there that actually is doing it the correct way.
Okay. Well, hey, we started.
Let's get solid.
It's early yet.
That's right, yeah.
Well, I'll start off in the back of the room first, introducing. This is Margaret. She's one of our sensitive investigators. I don't really call them psychics or mediums. My word's always been sensitive. But she's going to be leading during that metaphysical part. She'll be leading the upstairs portion of that. Then our other sensitive that we're using is Matt. Matt's on the board of PTF. He's been around since 2006, forever. And he's going to be in the basement part on that. Then we'll go down the line. Frankie here is newer to our team. A very valuable asset. He runs his own production company with films, and has Shift Films, right?
Yep, Shift Films.
And he's won some awards on some of these little local festivals already, and bigger ones.
We have a paranormal podcast now. We feature PTF members, so that's fun.
So he's a very valued member of the team. And I'll work down the line here. We have Sandy here who checked you guys in. She was our vice president for, over a decade. She tried quitting and leaving the paranormal. Like a cult, we didn't let her. She's still our case management coordinator, our treasurer, and still on the board and very valuable to the team. And her replacement is Chumley Brumley.
Thanks.
Okay.
His name's Danny. He goes by Danny too.
But he's our current vice president. Anybody else hiding for us? Is that it?
Ken's around somewhere.
And we have Ken in the other room.
He might be saying something.
But he'll be setting up something on the second floor during that portion too, a real-time EVP through with a speaker output. So that'll be like an IT portion to supplement the metaphysical portion. And then Terry's not here yet, and a lot of you've been at our events, no Terry Gamble. He'll be here and he'll be in the basement for the first part, and he'll probably be running the Oculus 3B as an IT type thing to supplement Matt on his gifts. And we'll have other equipment set up and down as well during that time. So I think I put that all in a good nutshell. Any questions on this yet? So I can mess them up and stumble around?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like one group's gonna go down, one group's gonna go in the basement. Does it switch then?
Yeah, after the halftime, we'll switch you guys. Like I said, it's a little different than our normal event where we rotate people slowly through the 3 floors the first part, and then do a meal break. This one's a lot different. You came in, you got the high tea in that first. But you get to make up, you'll have your own investigative time once this all shuts down about 15.
Yeah, I've never been to one. So.
Okay, so you have no idea.
Don't expect IT with all of them.
Okay, so with that said, I guess I should turn it over to Miss Sandy here for the historical presentation.
And during this historical part, feel free to ask as many questions as you would like. She's gonna love that.
Kim, where are you going? Gee, think there. Okay, actually, the land that this building is built on, in 1883, the land was Edward DeSalmi. He was like a blacksmith, and he only owned it for like about 6 weeks. So he did own the property, but not the building. You know, the building was not here yet. He sold it to another family in Kirkwood. I'm just giving you the names just because these are people who had like attached. And also too, I didn't know for sure. Did you want to hear the history or not? If anybody's like the sensitive or whatever, they may or may not want to hear the history. I don't know.
No.
You guys okay with that? But then he sold it to a John Littleman and his wife Charlotte, and he was a manufacturer in Kirkwood, Missouri. But they too never built on the lot. This is a very rural area, you know, obviously back in the 1880s. And then in 1886, James Longworth, he was a proprietor, and he had purchased the property. He actually took out a loan for $1,200 the same day he bought the lot. So just think $1,200 back then, bought the lot. This is where we suspect that the building of the saloon began. So actually when this building was first built, and it was added onto over a course of time, but it was mainly like a saloon, kind of probably like a local hangout for folks to come to. And then later, he took out another loan, and at that point is when he started to develop it more into like a bed and breakfast, you know, kind of thing, like a kind of like a hotel. So it's also been a bar slash hotel. After his death, and the property was sold to Catherine and Frank Holz, and they were actually natives of Germany. It then became the Holz Hotel and Saloon, and it was managed by their 3 daughters. So through the history, you can kind of see those 3 daughters. Then eventually, that's why it took on the name over the course of time of the 3. You know, like the Sisters Tea House. So there's 3 of them. And they were also well known for their fried chicken dinners. Oh, where is Danny? Fried chicken. He always has to have fried chicken everywhere. Okay. So a lot of travelers, you know, staying here. A portion of the time, the building had also been, after they had owned it and passed it on, it was also part of it was used as like the city hall, where they would have like their government meetings for the city of Fenton. Frank Holz, he died in 1939. So after the time that he died, it was sold to Garrett Heitzert and his wife Patricia. That was in 1946. And that's when it became the Heitzert Hotel. And then right after that, as you'll see probably, I don't know if you noticed the sign out front, being like a historical location, it was also called the Navajo Hotel. So that's kind of the architecture that you see, like on the outside is more kind of a Navajo kind of feel. And over that time is when they had the city council meetings here as well. Actually, as far as, well, then the city took it over in 92, and it was briefly used as the Historical Society, and then it was going to be after that. Now the Historical Society for Fenton is actually right next door in that building. So as far as like the land around here, there's a lot of Indian mounds, burial sites in this area, especially, you know, because we're kind of along, you know, you folks are out of town, we're kind of along the Merrimack River here. And actually, just as recently as when they built all of the shopping center, the Gravelly Bluffs area, they had discovered Indian mounds when they did that. Fortunately, with that, the constructing companies, developers, were able to pay a kind of a pretty hefty fine, but were able to continue there. So there was a lot of disruption with the Indian burial grounds in this area. Let's see. Also, too, one thing, a bit of information that we had found out, actually from a gentleman who owns the bar back behind us, kind of across the street, across the parking lot, is that there is a huge tree, and maybe later, maybe after our events are done, you know, with going back and forth with the floors and everything, maybe one of the guys will walk anybody who's interested over to see the hanging tree. The original Fenton hanging tree is still alive, and it's back behind this old church that's over here. And actually, this old church, history says that that's been moved 3 times. Now, I don't know when it was moved, if it was brick, because I don't know how in the world they move a brick building but maybe it had been bricked more after it was actually moved to this final location. But so it's historical too. Some of the different stories of deaths that had actually occurred in here was one of the owners. Let me go back because I remember that from Dana's talk. I just have to check my notes. I'm not a professional at this time. It was Frank. I think it was Frank Holes. And I could check that a little bit more, like the death certificates that she has everything in this book. If anybody wants to look through it later, if you're really into history. No, James Longsworth. He's the one who actually was a previous owner that passed away in the building. Then during construction and remodeling in the 1940s, it's reported that upstairs you'll notice it's kind of like a fire escape type thing from like the second floor. There's still part of a rope up there. Supposedly out that window, one of the workers had somehow gotten himself tangled up and fell toward the window. That's one of the stories. Again, we have not been able to locate his death certificate or anything to really verify that, but that's one of the stories of a death that actually occurred in the building. Also, we just recently found out that this is actually really true. You know, the story was that, you know, the police have been called here like several times, like in the middle of the night, you know, because neighbors will report seeing somebody looking out because they do leave certain lights on in here for security, but nobody lives in the building. And so they'll see people looking out, or they'll notice things with lights going on and that type of thing. So they'll call the police because they think there's somebody, you know, in here. So that's happened several times, and one of our team members recently ran into like a Fenton area cop, and he was saying too, he goes, "Oh yeah, you know, they've been there several times." So some things happen here, and as Danny maybe starts to talk, or maybe when Terry gets here too, and some of the guys will go over maybe some of the experiences that people have experienced here, if you guys are interested, kind of in hearing that. Does anybody have any questions? Because it was so thorough, I'm sure.
How many rooms are in the building?
I'm sorry.
How many rooms?
Rooms? Danny, you've been through the building. Just the basement. There's several rooms like in the basement. There's the bathroom, and then there's some other laundry and kitchen, and upstairs there's I want to say there's like 3 bedrooms upstairs.
I want to say 14 rooms. So
14
just
rooms
counting in my
total.
head. Just that's close. That's a guess. Might be 1 or 2 off.
Yeah. So,
Biggest
it's
the
smaller
lot.
than some places, but you know, there's been activity really recorded on every level.
How big is the lot?
The lot. This lady here, Sandra, is a plant. She's a plant. No, actually, I don't really know, but it goes over to like the parking lot, part of this parking lot here,
Okay.
and it goes to like the cross street down there, and then the side street. So, you know,
Thank you.
it's all kind of, you know, partial city block. It's kind of odd just the way things are shaped down here, you know, in the old town, you know, part. But fairly good sized lot.
I'm a member.
Well, we asked the owners.
Oh my goodness!
And that hanging tree, the property is for sale there, and they're trying to save the tree.
Are they really?
Because they want
Awesome.
to develop it. Every piece of land around here in Fenton is being developed, and there's a lot of people against it.
Goodness, now is the church at any kind of risk that these
No,
property
there's
owners?
one man that purchased the church, and he lives there by himself.
Sorry,
Yeah, he was the president of the Fenton Historical Society, but he's not anymore. But yeah, he purchased that building for $25,000.
Wow. Now, had that been moved a couple times? Do you know?
No, it hadn't. There was an original church on there, and they got a book in there. It's the history of Fenton, and it's actually out of print, but they still have a stack of them. And it was an original church on there, a small brick church. They tore that down, built that, and then St. Paul's built a more modern church across Miser Mill, and that's probably where he got the 3 churches.
Oh, okay. That's why I was just like, it's like, well,
Yeah.
obviously it wasn't brick,
And
because
then-
how would you move a brick building?
The Indian mounds, there's actually a street down here called Mound Street, and that's where they found most of the Indian mounds.
It'll be with your
Really?
hand as well. And it's in there,
Wow.
it's that one.
But so this lady over here, if you have any questions
No.
on
That's all I know.
that's all she knows. Awesome, but it's great, yeah.
Who do we have to ask about the number of rooms?
I did.
Okay, according to the owner, including this entry area out here in the basement, there's 20 rooms.
20 rooms.
Yeah.
You can see how that's close to 14.
Yes, that's rounded up.
Yeah, just round it up a bit.
Alrighty.
Did you cover any of our experiences here?
I haven't yet, because I wanted to kind of have you guys explain that, and I remember some of them. You know, Margaret has some, but I just didn't know for sure how much you wanted to,
Yeah, that's true.
how much you want to really know before you.
Who wants to know some of our past experiences here?
Let's take quite a few.
Who doesn't?
Okay,
Okay, so I can put.
if you want to take a quick break or something, you know, I mean,
I'm
it's up
wondering.
to you. I don't worry.
We'll go from that equipment presentation. You've been through that how many times already?
Come on.
Okay, in a nutshell, when we
Close this
first, no, we're fine.
Okay, I'm just saying.
In a nutshell, when we first started coming here, we captured EVPs of a little girl's voice, a male's voice, and those were scattered, basement, this floor, and upstairs. And we would see shadow figures, and that was the first part of the experience that got our interest in this place. Other than the police officers showing up here because it seeing the lights come on upstairs and somebody walking by the windows when the place was locked up and the alarm system's on. That's another thing that drew our interest here. Then we go to our first event that we did here. It truly exceeded all my expectations. Attendees here on that night, and they've been to some of our other locations, 50 in Potosi, they said that was the most active place they ever been was here. It started off with 6 of them in the back hallway. They all saw a large shadow figure come out from the basement and across under, the lower level of the hallway back there. We had an ex-police officer here who saw some weird anomalous lights in the furnace room down there. And he actually, he's an experienced investigator too on the paranormal. And he became very upset and was afraid. He didn't know why. He actually came outside and did not want to go back down in the basement. People were getting touched at night and a lot of disembodied voices being heard, shadow movement on several occasions. And that's the majority of the stuff here. Now with Margaret, with some of the IT devices like the real-time EVP and the SB7 and that, something communicated to her up there, and they don't like her that much. They called her a B name, and then they called her like a demon and said, "Get out of my house."
But where are we sending Margaret? She's going upstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd rather see me at the bottom of the stairs face first, so.
Hold on tight, Margaret.
So did I cover about?
Yeah, I just want to add, I wasn't at the last event, but I do think this is probably where I heard the most vivid disembodied voice of a little girl that I've ever experienced. And it was during Greg's presentation. Everyone was gathered in the other room and he was giving a presentation and the little girl said "mommy" and it was just like we stopped and looked into this center hallway because it sounded like that's where she was. Nothing. But it was very vivid. So keep that in mind.
And there's also, I forget the stories that we got on Facebook. People attended bridal showers here, a couple times, brought their little girls with them. And their little girls kept asking their mommy if somebody lived here. And she kept saying she didn't think so, but they kept arguing, yes, somebody lives here. When they got back home, they explained they saw a small girl in here wearing clothes, but clothes not like they wear. Like older fashioned clothing. So that they had some, a little bit too that we could contact so far since doing events here. So people's been experiencing stuff here off and on for quite a while.
So was September 8th the first paranormal?
No, we did one in August. I forget the exact date.
And that was the first one?
Yeah, that's one that went off the charts.
As well as we try to investigate every place that we hold events privately before we have an event, just to see if we can capture something. it was, I think everybody had a personal experience or something our very first investigation. So.
Yeah, we don't come to a place and run paranormal events unless we experience activity first. There's a lot of businesses out there too that I think they're seeing the way to their revenue is through the paranormal now. And you get a lot of them that'll actually rig stuff in their buildings. And, well, that's been seen on some of the shows already too.
Which we definitely understand. You can go to a place and experience absolutely nothing, and you never deem it not being haunted. But we like to experience something, as well as look the place over and make sure it's safe. You know, and everything. So.
And before I let Danny jump into the equipment stuff, we do have quite a few future events coming up. They're all sold out. The only ones we have tickets remaining for is one October 26th on a Friday in Potosi, Missouri. That's a special limited ghost hunt where only 15 people are allowed to go to that. And that's 3 different buildings, you know, that are very haunted and active, including the adjacent graveyard. And the break area, Sweet Memories, is also a haunted location where I've seen a full apparition come by their kitchen before. But there's one ticket for that one. Then on Saturday, October 27th, we run our normal overnight ghost hunt. That's where we do the rotations and the breaks. And there's 10 tickets left for that. And that's it for this year. Then our next year, we're kicking off. Well, we might have some events before, but we scheduled on April 13th all the way to Winchester, Indiana, at the Randolph County Asylum. We're doing an event there, and that's already halfway sold out.
And it's an amazing place.
That's an awesome place. Yeah. We went to the Spook Con there, and we helped them run their overnight. In our first 15, 20 minutes, then meet Danny, Jeremy, we started having experiences, different floors, and that.
It's huge
That's,
too.
yeah, 15,
very large.
15 castles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
2
larger.
years back.
That's a lot larger than 15
Actually,
castles.
it was one of the guys named that Irish guy, which is
Oh, the
Scottish guy?
Yeah, that's her husband.
He's actually out at the Scottish Games now. Well, I guess not now. I guess.
because I remember him.
But yeah, the Randolph County Asylum is like another third bigger than 15 Castle. And nobody lives in there, so there's even more open space. So that's an awesome one. Their attic, well, we don't include the attic, but God, that's one big giant. I think you fit a football field in there at least, or more. You know, it's so big.
Yeah, you definitely full court basketball. Yeah.
But if you're interested in our events, ever how you found us on this event, you can go to our website, paranormaltaskforce.com, the events, or come to our Facebook page, Paranormal Task Force, and go to our events area. But with all that being said, I'll now turn over to Danny so he can do the equipment presentation part for you guys.
All right. When we're investigating, we'll have, after we get done with the ghost, the largest ghost hunt part of it. Whoa, that's got wheels. Or it doesn't, but either way, it's mobile. Basically,
Okay.
and then you look for a change. I would like to add, whenever you're using a piece of equipment and you notice a change in the environment, that's when you quit paying attention to your equipment and start looking around, because if you don't, you're going to miss what's going on. This is just to clue you in on something changing in your environment. It may not be paranormal. You know, different things can affect these. Just like we'll be using walkie-talkies tonight. And it's going to make a lighter out of me. Okay, there it went. But you'll notice all the equipment queued off. That's because this is EMF. Any energy moving through space is off EMF. And so your cell phones, tower checking, will mess up this equipment. So will us using walkie-talkies. So keep that in mind. Not everything you're going to get a hit on this equipment is going to be paranormal. It just kind of clues you in. So don't pay a lot of attention to the equipment. Just use it as a guide. Another thing that we have in the cases, we have millimeters. Everybody know what a millimeter? Millimeter basically gives you a digital readout of EMF, so you can actually see the change, whether it's high or low. It also has a temperature probe in it, so you can look for cold spots or hot spots.
EMF or RF?
Huh?
EMF or RF?
EMF. Millimeter?
No, I mean walkie-talkies, I think.
Oh yeah, RF, but it's all on an EMF range. It's all energy. But back to millimeters. Dang it, Nathan. You stole my thunder. Oh, I was going to talk about hot and cold spots. Everybody thinks a cold spot is associated with ghosts. There's also hot spots. It's temperature change. So you're not necessarily looking for the coldest spot in the place. You're looking for a large temperature change that you can't explain. Another thing that we will have in the case, if you're into the metaphysical side, is we have dowsing rods. We have 2 sets of dowsing rods in each case. So it seems like I'm not much with dowsing rods. I'm not much with metaphysical because I deem myself being very insensitive. But yeah. But a lot of people, especially new attendees, absolutely love these things. So you might want to try those out. 2 sets in each case. We also, in each case, have a touch flashlight. How many in here has done the flashlight thing where you loosen it up and you try to communicate? People will argue. I'm not going to argue with you if that's right or wrong, but people will argue that that can be inconsistent. But these, as long as they're on, basically any touch will set the light off. To be honest, we've only had this happen, or actually work a couple times since we've had them for several years, but it's pretty consistent that there was no loose connections or no explanation why that light went off without somebody touching it. Other things that we're going to have scattered around, because I think that's basically everything in our case. We'll have REM pods, and we'll have everybody. Greg kind of explained the REM pod to you. Basically, it works off EMF. It puts out a bubble. Any energy that comes and breaks that bubble is going to set that off. We like to set them up in what we call choke points, or I like to set them up in what I call choke points, which would be stairwells, doorways, narrow areas that something would have to walk because it is a very close proximity device, which means you have to get within 6 inches to set it off. It also does have a temperature setting on it. We generally don't run that on overnights because you get so many people into a room, it'll raise or lower the temperature that it will constantly be alerting. So we'll have those set up. We'll have the Periscope 360 set up everywhere. And that's about all that we have in the cases. But we also have some specialty equipment if you guys are interested or want to see it used. We have, I know, at least one Obulus here that we'll have out using during the regular largest ghost hunt and during our event. So if you guys want to mess around with an Obulus a little bit, it'll be around. We have the Boo Bear. It'll probably be set up. Everybody know about the Boo Bear? Nobody's ever heard of the Boo Bear? Well, it'll talk to you. It has several sensors in it, and it talks. And it's a trigger object designed to either put your recorder with or to alert the investigator who's around it. If you listen to what it says, it'll clue you in on changes in the environment. It senses EMF, touch. It senses temperature change. But it also asks questions designed to trigger things like, can you say your ABC, stuff like that. But the really wild thing about it is it's a creepy kid's voice. So if you're in the dark room and you hear this really creepy kid's voice start singing its ABCs or asking if you will play with me, it's probably the Boo Bear. But a lot of people tend to freak out. They're like, this bear was talking. It's like, yeah, that's supposed to. So that will be set up somewhere. And then we have a FLIR, handheld FLIR, which is a thermal camera. We'll have someone will be carrying that around tonight as well if you guys are interested in thermal technology and looking at that. We'll have that out. And then we've got a new piece of equipment just put out by Ghost Stop. Never used it before. This will be the first night. And basically, it's called a flux. It has several sensors. I know it's got a temperature sensor in it. It also has motion detectors on both sides. So if you walk into a room and you're on the side of this thing, it is going to start alerting. So that just simply means it sensed your movement. But it's basically an interactive device that you can use to talk to spirits or entities. You can ask questions, basically close-ended questions like yes or no, male or female, left or right, and it will alert you based on it's got a red light and a green light. One or the other will light up if you get a response. So of course that's kind of self-explanatory. Whenever you see it on and using it, you can ask it to light up the green or light up the red based on a yes or no. So we'll have that. We'll probably be messing with that a little bit tonight since we've never used it, see what we get. I've already touched on a little bit. Don't forget about your God-given senses. Those are really important. I mean, if you've never investigated before, be aware of your surroundings, smells, feelings. And Greg touched on that a little bit earlier with a retired police officer that was here. A lot of people don't key in on what they're feeling. They don't understand, or don't even notice why they're feeling extreme anger or sadness for no reason. So keep track of your feelings as you investigate. Your natural EMF is what we kind of call this, but whenever you get all goosebumpy and we call it fired up, or whenever your hair raises up on your arms and you get all goosebumpy and you can't explain it, definitely not a cool spot in here tonight. You know, it's kind of warm. So if you don't know why you're getting goosebumps, that could be your natural EMF telling you that something's lighting you up, something's really close to you. So keep track of that. A few things we do ask if you get scared, which you laugh. Well, no one laughed, but it does happen. We have had events where something happened and people have a tendency to run. And we ask, because it's a small area, please do not run. You may be in the dark. So find a PTF member. We'll be more than happy to help you out of the area if you experience some fear. Everybody does. I've experienced several times. And we do ask that while we're investigating, notice your surroundings and be respectful of other people. A lot of people have been running audio in here. This is a very small location. It is very easy to be loud. So respect everybody who's running audio and take turns in areas because everybody's going to want a shot at where the activity's happening. So, and have a good time. If you guys have any questions at any time tonight, make sure that you ask us. That's one of the biggest things. We're here to help you. We're not here to investigate. We're here to assist you in any way that you need. So make sure throughout the night that you ask us lots of questions, or if you have any questions about anything or want to hear about any experiences we've had, we'll be happy to share. With that, I think we're good. You guys are ready to do the opening ceremonies. We still have a little bit of time, so maybe we can take a quick break and get ready to kick this thing off. Like I said, hopefully this first part goes really smooth. This is the first time we don't normally do events like this. This is kind of the first part of it is dictated by the largest ghost hunt. So hopefully you guys have a good time with it, and hopefully we have an active night. So any questions?
What can we expect to see? I heard a little girl, shadow figures.
Yeah, there's been shadow figures experience.
Can you tell me what a shadow figure?
A shadow figure, you know, everyone saw a shadow before, you know, of a person. The big thing with shadow figures is you have to ask yourself, and I believe this is one of the most dismissed things in the paranormal. I believe everybody at some point in time probably experiences a shadow figure.
Is that what you see in your peripheral?
Yeah, but you know, I've seen them straight on too.
Okay.
I mean, you definitely do catch glimpses of movement that you deem, and of course you're hunting with a flashlight, or maybe you're in a lit room, you catch a little movement, you look over, and you didn't really fully focus on it, you didn't catch it. You can catch them straight out in front of you looking, but the main thing to ask yourself in context of the lighting of the room and this and that, can you explain why that shadow was still there? And they don't always look like people. Sometimes you'll have a little ball moving across the room, different shapes. Things, I've seen them change into different shapes. So
can they be a mist?
Well, they definitely can. I wouldn't call that particularly a shadow figure,
Okay.
but you can experience mist. People have seen colored mist, white mist, black mist, things like that can't be explained. But I think shadow figures is something, that was a really good question, because I think a lot of people are trained to not notice that, because we see shadows everywhere in our normal everyday lives, and it's normal to us. one of the biggest things is like when someone takes a picture in a flash. We've actually seen this where after you go back and you look at the picture and the shadows cast, you've got an extra shadow on the wall that you can't put a person to in the picture. And they may be facing the opposite direction that everybody else is or stand out. So that's one thing we have experienced here is the shadow figure. Terry has a really good story about the shadow figure.
And not to interrupt everybody, but I just want to introduce Terry of our team. He's here now. And for those that don't know him, he's like grandfather paranormal. He's been doing this for 35 years plus. He's the most experienced and knowledgeable person in our organization. He's been around doing this with people like Troy Taylor when they were just still late teens. So he's been around forever. And what Terry does at his places he sets up, he'll have his GoPro camera set up too. And he clips them all down with evidence related, strings. And he'll email all those out to everybody about a month after the event.
Takes a little while to edit it all up. But when I get to it, I put it all together into a short video and send everyone a copy.
Okay, so you go set up now, Terry. That's what I wanted to introduce you.
Okay. And he gets older at every event, by the way. You guys attend more and more events, he's older and older and older.
About the shadow figure that's here, I got a good look at him at the top of the stairway on the second floor. I was looking down at the lower platform, and he's immense. Most of them are humanoid shape, about the size of a person. The one I saw was absolutely gigantic. And I got a good look at him. I was standing next to another person who also saw him, and then it took off going down the steps. So you can get away from me.
Oh.
He's not blocking the bathroom, is he?
Actually, I think he tries to keep a low profile and stay out of your way. I think we caught him off guard. But we came into the stairwell, and I think he just froze and didn't move. And then eventually, when he decided he wanted to take off, we got a full glimpse of him when he decided to move.
But I think another thing too that we don't normally think about is, say, disembodied voices. This is a good time to see. We see everybody in attendance. We have no children, and PTF has been caught off guard at a couple events where I think we actually had a couple events where we had full-bodied apparitions that people actually saw, members included, and it never registered with us until after the fact that they weren't attendees. So, keep in mind, if you hear a child's voice tonight, we have no children present. If you see a figure that's a lot smaller than what we would call attendees, so many people, it's real easy to get caught up in the moment of investigating and interacting with other people that you overlook things like that. We've done it a couple different times, and so really watch your surroundings, pay attention, and think when you hear if you hear a child's voice or something like that, that there is no children present. So,
has she been visible, the little girl?
According to some of the stories, I don't think we've ever witnessed her in person, but all I heard was the disembodied voice of the child. It was definitely a little girl.
And not the Boo Bear.
And not the Boo Bear. The Boo Bear was not set out and not on. It was during this part we were talking, and we definitely heard Mommy come from the hallway there.
What kind of age frame are you thinking?
That's hard to say. Voice wise, very young. I would say
4 to 5.
4 to 10. 5 to 10, something. She was definitely very pronounced in her words. She could talk really well, but it sounded like a very young child. So, all right, with that, I think we're good to go. Who wants to go to opening ceremonies?
Well, opening ceremonies start at 8:30.
8:30, so take a break.
So you can take a break, or if they want to go upstairs and do some preliminary investigative stuff on their own. But we'll just gather everybody down here at 8:30, to start off the festivities. And Danny, if you want to have somebody help you get a REM pod up and, periscope and stuff like that. No. That's not big. You want to take a break or keep it on? Just follow me.
All right.
Or I'll take it. I'll put it in there on the battery. And I'll keep it going live. Okay, people. Watching. We're gonna take a little break until the kickoff ceremony goes. Well, where's my battery at? You see my battery, my case for my phone anywhere? And my cable.
Is that it?
Yeah, I moved it on that table. Okay.
Is that my walkie-talkie or is Danny?
That's mine.
Okay.
We're gonna set up and give this phone some juice while we're taking a break, but I'll let you see some of the attendees here. So you can kind of monitor this room. This is where we're gonna. You probably see the. Let me look back here. Okay. We'll let it go live, but we'll be back within the half hour. Yeah. If you guys want to go explore, these up here, they're still cleaning up. If you want to explore upstairs, go for it. Maybe we get somebody to bring volume up on it.
Yeah, because I don't know. And they told us to use it.
Maybe you can talk to the chef about to come out. He played possum. For me, I tried to coax him out. Just won't happen.
Okay. Or we could turn you guys around to watch Terry set up too. They might find that interesting what you're set up, Terry. So you can talk to them. It's Facebook Live.
Oh, sure. These are my IR night vision lights. They should last about 6 hours. However, when the batteries sometimes get drained prematurely, last investigation, they only lasted 3. That works.
I'll put it back on the table further so I can see you, and plus you get more room this way. So I'm going to take a break. Okay, this is kind of on a clamp, so whoever who's typing something, we might answer you from their phone.
What about the lasers? Can I set those up downstairs?
I would wait, I would preliminary set them up and not turn them on for the metaphysical part. Save that for the other part.
Do you guys ever use the Oculus?
Yep.
Yeah, Terry, I'm going to go outside and have a cigarette real quick.
I was just curious.
Yes.
There's so much stuff. I would have to.
Well, I've in experimenting, you see what works and what doesn't. God knows what works. But I
And that's
try
when
to
they have to work.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's.
But the thing is, experiment. If I use it as an inanimate object and sit it on a table, it's worthless.
Right.
It has to be held by a
You have
human.
to use it and have
Like
it.
human has to be holding it, and somehow, and it depends on the person who's holding it, on how good the communication can get. There are different levels of the object. The casual stuff is the machine will speak words that are relevant and will communicate using the machine. Then I've seen it go to the next level, is that it starts to speak through it in its own voice. It'll say what the machine says,
Right.
but it's not the machine's voice.
Right.
It's the entity's voice speaking through
Right.
the ovulus.
Ghost stories, I've even been watching races. I will have sometimes female races come across.
You can set it as a male or female, but it's all an electronic voice, and it's mono. It's a very, blue.
It's very, right, it's very flat.
It's very flat and almost, well, when they're speaking, they can get very emotional and agitated, and they can shout, and their personality can come through the ovulus. That's the next level of interaction with the ovulus. Then it can go even beyond that, and it can say words that aren't even in the dictionary.
Oh, wow.
This is when it's in dictionary mode, but it will be saying words that are not in the vocabulary of the dictionary.
Because the obelisk only has so
So
many
many words. There's, 2,500 to 5,000 words pre-programmed. But it can also speak words that are not in that dictionary.
Right.
And I've had to do
That's
that.
when you know it's.
Yeah. But I found that it's, as an inanimate object to sit on the table and let it do its thing, it's worthless. If you test it that way, it's no value.
Has the infrared works for you at all?
Yeah, I use the infrared every time it comes here.
Okay, great.
And the one thing I'm trying to get is a shadow figure like that.
Right.
But he played possum with me last time. I've seen him and I've gotten a good look at him. But when I tried to video him and I set his room up, it's in the basement. They put a bunch of lasers out. He wouldn't let the basement come out. So he stayed silent for trying to poke some out. Yeah. Well, it's not great. It projects different colored dots. Red, green, blue, purple. Yes. Yeah. I use laser projectors. They're electric. And I plug them in and flood the area with the dots. That way, if it passes in front of it, you'll get a look at it.
You'll see.
Yeah. Because when a shadow figure passes in front of the lasers, the lights go dark.
Right.
And so you'll see all these colors around it, and it will be the black mask in the middle of it. And, but if it's a regular entity, what happens is it's more like if it hits water, and each laser starts to explode.
Oh.
And it's like pow. Each laser, like it's aimed at water. If this translucent invisible thing is made of water, it's like a laser hitting that and it scatters. And I've had that too. That's the other kind of thing. The more regular spirit that's translucent, and it will scatter the light instead of absorbing it.
That'd be cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Awesome. I'm looking forward to
So
it.
that shadow figure you see basically.
Yeah, I saw him on the second floor steps, looking down at the lower platform. At first, I didn't even know what I was seeing because he was just standing there, motionless. And then when he took off, I realized he was there all the time. I think he must have thought that we weren't looking at him, and so he took off and ran down the steps. But when he did, I had a good look at him. He was immense. I've seen most shadow figures are about the size of a human, and sometimes they're more like a column in shape. Sometimes they'll have arms and legs and head and detail features. But this one was different. He was gigantic. He was like yay high and about that wide. And when he took off down the steps, it was like he blacked out the whole wall when he turned the corner. And so it's like he's a big boy. He's really large. But yeah, hopefully we'll get a shot at him. Because yeah.
Where's Danny? I want him to turn up the TV. Danny.
Mineral Springs, and that was very active.
Yeah, Mineral Springs was cool.
And
That was our first time with you guys. No. Toasty was our first, then Mineral Springs was our second.
yeah, Toasie's been a developing story. It's been down the Lucas store. It's become immensely.
That was the general store, right? When they walked in, that is when we smelled the strong smell of cigar. That's the only time we're smoking like that.
Making people sick.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's
So
some
no.
of these investigations.
So that's upstairs where the one guy was scratched on the neck?
Yes. Yeah. You go upstairs and you loop around, and then there's like 3 rooms in the back.
One of which is a scary doll in it.
Yeah. But there has developed some unique skills. The worst things it was able to do was basically function through people. And they were getting angry and emotional, and it was that people, it was basically, it was like this thing was functioning through that. And so you had to get them out of the building. Once you get them past the front porch,
Right.
it has to let go.
Right.
It can't leave the building. It's trapped there, whatever it is. So to get people out.
When you're redid the toasty, it was so hot that our stuff wasn't working right. It was just couldn't be moved up there. It was June, July, it was scorching that day we did that one.
Yeah, some of those buildings are pretty awful.
Yeah, the big green shell thing was really cool. I forget what type it was.
That's the one thing.
Yes. I have, does it have either micro?
I do through a USB.
Yeah.
I do have one.
I have that. This would be easier for me to communicate with them, and I can be quiet.
See, I've got. Oh, woohoo! Nope, I got it. I do have it though. Here it is.
No one here knows my name though, so I'm good. I hope. I hope. No, and of course it has to say it in the previous part of the task.
Actually, I don't think that's any safety factor whatsoever on the last video. It mentioned shingles.
So I'll pick you up and I'll take you around to meet some of our attendees. How's that sound?
I didn't even know this does have shingles.
Okay.
So it mentioned a medical condition.
There's Melissa there, the tour guide from the Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri.
Come see us. It's haunted.
And that we will vouch for. And that's her friend. Forget your name, but. And this is the tea house manager, Kim.
Hello.
She's the one that served the high tea. So our Facebook fans get to meet you.
Thank you.
And it looks like he set up something interesting, so we'll go on the other side of him. Look. That's the stick figure thing. What's that called?
That's smart.
She's expecting her up right now. She's a stick figure.
That's brilliant.
But I see things sometimes like over there, say it would pick something up,
Right.
and it's supposed to be motion,
It's opposite, reverses too.
but sometimes I wonder.
Is that Bill Chappell's version, or is that the?
Got to go.
Got to go. So
Oh, that actually.
paranormal research and development.
So you got other ones making it now besides the Phil Dowsing. Okay.
We're at 142 participants.
And there's Melissa here, one of our longtime frequent attendees. But feel free to go around if you want to explore. Oh, you just want to see what's going on here, huh? And this is one of our attendees. What's your name?
Sandy,
And how far did you come?
about 15 miles. Well, I live in Arnold, so 6 miles.
So we got Arnold. Melissa is Redbud, Missouri, right? Rosebud. How many miles is that? An hour away.
Only yourself.
And we got Springfield, Missouri over there.
Nobody got attached to you.
And I know we got Paducah, Kentucky, and Oklahoma here. We're at in Oklahoma. Pryor?
Something on the chair.
So you come a long way for this one. Have you been to the Pythian Castle yet, or? Oh, you definitely. That's closer, and you'd love that place. And see who we got over here. Oh, there's Nathan, all suited up and ready to go. I gotta get a picture of him too. Smile. So it looks like you're going to capture something, huh? From old school to new school. I even see the compass on him. So he utilizes all techniques. That's the way to do it. And Nathan's close to this event, even though he goes a long way. And Paducah or South County. Okay, I know we got some Paducah, Kentucky people here. And what's your name?
I'm Donna King.
Donna and Mark. Okay. Just doing a Facebook feed to fill in.
We're good.
And there's another attendee.
Hi, I'm from Fenton.
From Fenton, you're local, so. And I guess she's from Fenton too? So 2 Fentonites. I know we got a couple from Paducah as well. And this is the screen feed here. It's on Shindig, which their command center is going to be. They're still setting things up for the opening ceremony at 8:30. And we're back up this way. There's Mr. Frankie, the man behind the Shindig feed.
Hi, Jeremy.
Don't know if he's on here or not. I see Sandy smiling. She's watching it out there.
We have 142 participants right now for Shindig all over. We've reached out to the UK, Canada, and Ireland. We've already talked to those guys on site, so it's been
Cool.
fun. We're making some good networking.
And here, we'll follow this guy around. This is Ken here. He's also very experienced like Terry. And he runs some neat stuff. You'll see some of his neat stuff later. He doesn't like cameras, so we'll say bye, Ken. And we'll walk around, let you see some of the layout here. On the first floor, at least. This is like a little gift shop area. If you need purses, jewelry, or little knickknacks, teacups, sets, and this is the place to come. And there's an attendee there. And we didn't get you yet, did we?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Mindy.
Nimby. And where are you from? Mindy. Where are you from?
Oklahoma.
She's from Oklahoma, too. So I had to figure out Oklahoma or Paducah, Kentucky is the furthest ones here.
We'll probably be Kentucky.
And there's Matt. It's kind of showing them around a little bit down here. Now I have to put this down because I got to dig out a flashlight. Okay. No, I'm gonna dig them out my one that spreads out in that. So I'm gonna put you back down in the room with attendees. So we'll let you sit here and watch some attendees. Maybe over here. Not that. Okay. There, maybe some of the attendees will talk to you guys.
Hi.
Thank you.
Right.
Make me a couple of ones right in front of me, right? Thanks.
I know, it's totally. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're on a limit slate.
So, in the 15 questions, got it right back to me here. I got the battery hooked up.
Okay. Got it.
I do got this. Let me take it out. So you showed me. Maybe you can figure out something to do, but that's why I brought it.
All right.
I didn't have the Velcro strap.
Okay. Figure it out later.
Okay. I'll go back out for a second.
Oh. Okay. You're not doing a tour?
I did a tour down here a little bit. Okay. I'll take them up there. We'll get let Matt take them upstairs. You want to take the attendees upstairs, Matt? I'll walk along with you. We'll let Matt handle it. I'm going to be fine. Just show them around. Okay. Up we go. This is the second floor area. There's something that's not like Margaret or sensitive. And we'll take you guys back in here. This is the grumpy man room. Yeah. Follow me, please. This is for a long time with employees. They call it the grumpy man room. Because they hear disembodied voices or what sounds like an old mean man. And stuff does get moved around in here at times. I forgot to mention that to attendees. But possibly the grumpy man doesn't like Margaret. We have several rooms here. Not going to go and show them all. But there's another room over here. That's an active room here. That's what they call the grumpy man room. People always hear it over time. You hear this loud voice in the middle of the man, stuff gets moved around, and they get the creeped out feeling in their blood. We have the section back in here. This is one of the lights that come on in the middle of the night when the place is locked up and the alarm system's set. And then some people walking by, or the neighbor who lives in the church who bought it, and he's learned not to call the police anymore. They used to call the police. The lights would come on, they would see an elderly lady walk back and forth a couple times by these windows here. And besides the elderly lady, we haven't been able to validate this, but some time back, there's construction workers that working on the building with the rope scaffolding stuff, and one fell and got tied up into it in his neck and accidentally hung. So this is the windows. I think one of these windows is where that happened at as well. Yep. Where? Yeah, and there's a tie off with the rope on the floor there. Forgot about that. And here we got one of Ken's IT devices set up. This is a real-time EVP. He's got a few things feeding into it. An SB7, and it's filtered through, well, I'm not sure about how this setup is. So I'll have to ask Ken about it. This is a little different than his normal setup. But hopefully we'll get communication through this setup tonight as well. And then we can make our way back. For another room. See, this is the type of place that doesn't really look creepy. First coming into it, you think, it's not paranormally active. But after you're here for a while, you get a surprise. So it's not always the creepy dungeon, basement-looking cemetery places, tunnels that have activity. Your most pristine places can as well.
Have you been in the hat room? That's pretty creepy.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Well, I gotta go down and check on things. If you want to take them into the hat room, go ahead. I'll let you do that. Yeah, you can take them in the hat room.
Oh, thanks.
Let's go.
Hat room.
What's the story behind the hat room?
I have no idea.
Lots of hats.
It's very pink. Very pink.
Any kind of activity in here? What's the activity?
One investigations, we had these little lights up here and up on the ceiling, little round things in the ceiling here, moving, and that was spinning. And they, without the air hitting it, the air conditioning. It's about the only thing I really experienced in here.
Yeah, I think it's moving slightly, but I think it's just because we're running around in here.
Yeah, it's just me personally. I don't know, a lot of people may have experienced stuff in here.
Okay. Let's head back down.
The back stairwells were most activity.
So we have to get downstairs to go to there, or how do we get down there?
Oh, that's pretty creepy too.
What is this?
It's a bathroom.
Oh, okay. It's a pink bathroom.
Pink, very pink.
All right, so this is the stairwell.
Yes.
It's very dark in here.
This is where Terry and a few other people experienced a large shadow anomaly down on the bottom flat spot.
And then Margaret has experienced some stuff in the stairwell, right?
Yes.
What kind of stuff has she picked up on?
The first one of the investigations, she didn't want to go down it. She got bad feelings, very bad feelings. So I think it's the same thing that basically called her the B word, and called her a demon.
Didn't she come up with a name?
I don't believe she did. I'm not
Okay.
for sure.
Thought she said his name was Oliver.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I haven't really talked to her too much about it.
Okay.
Yeah, this goes down to the floors.
So this is a creepy stairwell.
Very creepy.
It's nicely carpeted.
Yes.
It's just the vibe, I guess. Sounds like Terry is downstairs.
right there is the spot where they seen the shadow apparition. They went from like right in this area here, down, around, and it's gone.
Okay.
Terry can tell you more about that.
We'll get out of your way.
Mr. Terry, you want to tell the viewers about the shadow anomaly that came down
Yes. I was with another man on the very top of the stairwell, and we were talking. And during the conversation, all of a sudden I noticed that this immense shadow figure had moved against the back wall and was running down the steps. But what caught me off guard was, I've seen shadow figures before. They usually are about the size and shape of a human. Sometimes they're like a column in shape. But this one was different in that it was absolutely gigantic. It was massive. It was like yay high and about that wide. And when it came down the stairway, it blacked out the entire back of the stairwell when it went down to the next level. And it just took off running, and it didn't make a sound. And that's typical of the shadow figures. I've never heard them make a sound. They also have no humanoid features like eyes, mouth that I can judge, no clothing. It's just a black shadow that showed up because the reflections of, there are these red lights here that reflect off the back wall. And that's what provided the illumination for me to get a good look at it. Because the red light, when all the lights are on, you can see the back wall. So when it moved in front of it, it's so much darker than the normal darkness that you could get a good look at it.
What are some of the theories about what these things might be?
Shadow figures run the full gamut from that they're people to that they're elemental spirits. I do think personally they're different. I don't think that they're regular spirits. The pattern that I've observed with them is that they seem not to want to interact with people, and I've never had any luck getting an EVP conversation with one. It's like either they can't or they don't want to talk. That's the best that I can get with electronics. This is getting ready to start.
Looks like things are heating up.
Yep.
So what are you setting up there?
Getting my equipment prepared. This is something you don't see too much. It's called the Tri-Field Natural Meter. This is actually a lot better than what you see on the ghost hunting TV shows. It's a lot older technology, but it's much better. This one is immune to man-made sources of EMF, so it won't be fooled by wall outlet electricity or by a cell phone tower or any of the man-made sources. And you can set the sensitivity. So unlike this device, is it REM pod? It has a fatal flaw. Look at how close you have to get to it. And I've been told by people who are sensitives that when I put those out, that they simply circumnavigate around it so they never set it off because the range is so limited. These things have the advantage of, I can set this to accommodate to up to a range of about 10 feet away from it. So it can dominate an area. If it moves in anywhere near the area of a room, this will pick it up and this will produce a sound that you can audibly hear. And then we've got a few other pieces of equipment. This is a mel meter. It does the typical things mel meters do. Measures high-low temperatures, the milligauss EMF spikes, but it also has a few unique features. Shadow detection circuit. It has a REM pod, so it can function like that REM pod in addition to taking temperature readings and doing those functions. And This also has a thermal alert so that if it detects a cold spot, it will set off an alarm. This is a nice device. This is an Ovilus. It can do many different things. From you can set it up and have it work as a motion sensor, but how I use it mostly is in the dictionary mode. And I'll hand this out to people because I learned that using it as an inanimate object, it doesn't work. If I were just to set it up on a table and turn it on and let it run for during the course of the night, it just doesn't seem to function. You'll just get a few words of random gibberish. But I found that certain people act like magnets, and when you have this turned on, it will function through them and start to produce words and sentences, and it can get even more elaborate where I've had it actually speaking in its own voice through the Ovilus. It will say the word that's printed, but what's coming out of it is not the voice of the Ovilus. It's a very mechanical voice, monotone. You'll get very angry phrases, very emotional, dynamic, and that is overriding the voice of this machine.
Right,
They
thanks.
can also go as far as there's a dictionary of 2,500 to 5,000 words built into it. It can actually produce words that are not in the dictionary when it's in the dictionary, but I've had that happen too.
All right, thanks, sir. We got to get going because we got our event. All right, we're getting ready to run over to the live event. Are you filming it? Are you filming that? You want to? Okay. Okay. This is the world's largest ghost site. It's breaking up.
Command center's stuck.
Margaret.
And this got her years mentioned anymore. And it's gotten more beautiful and bigger every year. And it hasn't lost its passion. So we have to be
So this year we have 115 teams participating. Each of those teams is having essentially a bonded experience that we put together for everybody to do it at one time. And also, in essence, they're other little mini events. So it's quite a collaboration of effort, and it's really throughout the world. So
150 plus locations, 150 plus teams dedicated to the purposes that we have identified from the very beginning. And the first one is historic preservation. We see too many old buildings knocked down because they're worthless. And the paranormal community has been very significant in fundraising and raising awareness to the history of these buildings so they're not knocked down, so they continue to live and speak what they lived through in the years and centuries of history. We've done a poor job in our country, in the United States, to do this. But we're hoping that by engaging more funding for these properties that we can do this. Historic preservation, save these haunted places. It's a hashtag.
if I may add one thing, this whole operation, every bit of it, is all voluntary. We have volunteers staffing our command center here in Hamilton. The locations do not charge the teams to be involved, and the teams, when they have participants, which we'll talk about, when the money that is collected as a donation from the people that attend, every bit of that goes to the historic preservation efforts of that site. So we have all these sites gathering not only the money from tonight, but some notice that they're out there and some promotion to help them sustain throughout the year.
So at Haunted Journeys, we say a haunting is just the one you've heard. And this is what we demonstrate through this. Our second goal here is unity. It's unity, collaboration, and oneness. Last year, when our spirit spoke to us in our World's Largest Ghost Hunt, the number one word that they said that we needed to do in order to help communicate with them is oneness. This year, this has been the hashtag We Are One. And this has driven the entire process of what we've done here with National Ghost Hunting Days, World's Largest Ghost Hunt. The third is public awareness. Too many people think that haunted is bad. Haunted is what we see in several TV shows unnamed, where you open closets, demons come out. That's not what they are. Haunted can be incredibly beautiful and blessed. They can deliver us messages that we'll never know haven't spoken to them. They can give us pieces of history that we're trying to put together. And they can give us eternal life, hope for eternal life, and being united to our loved ones. So that is the type of public awareness that we're trying to pursue here. It's safe, it's good, it's wonderful, it's energetic, and it connects us to God. So today, speaking of, it's St. Michael the Archangel feast day, and we didn't plan it that way. It just happened to be there. Some people call it Michaelmas, which is a feast day of all the great religions and God's favorites. Some even declare that this is actually the day that Christ was born. I am blessed to recognize that day for the records that we're doing today. So we're pretty happy about that. Next in line is we're very proud to say we are launching on our website. It's going from beta to alpha, Haunted Journeys. Haunted Journeys will have the privilege of sharing all of this with you with our website. We've been working on it for 4 years, gathering data and collecting the sentiments of public that we want to serve. So today we start this with our 154 teams and locations. So we're very proud of that. To access that is largestghosthunt.com, and you'll see the listings of mega teams and locations that are being hunted tonight. So again, go to Haunted Journey, largestghosthunt.com. Okay.
So I want to add something before we move on to the next segment here. One of the very important things that we do, and it falls under that public awareness category, we've asked all of our teams that and locations that work together, and you're all there tuned in, to go out and invite the public to come in, to have an openness to people that haven't experienced this before, that have been skeptical, that have been maybe a little bit self-conscious about doing this type of thing because of neighbors or family or church or whatever. So we want to push the right things about paranormal research and investigation. And that is that it's runs counter to what you see a lot on TV, over dramatized and all that type of thing. It's horrible what people witness on there. I wouldn't want to go on one either if I thought so that's what it was. But when you make it connecting to history and understand that by what your efforts are doing by joining in on this is actually helping historical societies or
and keeping the messages out and open and alive, keeping that history alive. Yeah. That's the biggest purpose, I think, that historical preservation from our end as contributors can do. With that, I also want to recognize the solemn moment. In this last year, recently, we have lost 3 luckily involved in previous World's Largest Ghost Hunts from the first 2 years, and they've passed on. And we're going to talk in a minute.
Okay. The first person was Spring Morrow. She was with Ground Paranormal out of New York. And
her dear friend, Dr. Ken Head, and he was with ESP from the Explorers and Spirit Phenomena. Doc and us were very good friends. We lost him back in March, and I know he's here. In fact, they just sent me they tagged me on an article that was written because the team is hunting tonight. The ESP Explorers of Spirit Phenomena. They're down in the Riddle House in South Florida, and they actually South Florida did a big article about them. And right in the middle of the page is a picture of Dr. Ken. So talk about him being here. He's definitely at least in the newspaper down in Florida. And I do want today we had a loss, and it is from War Party Paranormal in Florida as well. The father of the co-founder, John Sapp Enterprise. So I'm not sure if they're going to be very active today because he was a significant part of his father just passed away. So with that, we can offer our prayer sentiments and take flight. And thank you for your contributions to our community. Last but not all, we want to kind of work around a little bit about show you the command center before we introduce the metaphysical connection for us. And Scott Mork, we have our historical neighborhood representatives here from Dayton Lane and German Village in the back. They're hiding from us. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for being here and celebrating with us. We have representatives from the Psychic Unite organization, Scotty and Terry Moore. Where's Terry? There she is, and Scotty's here. So you guys getting a little teaser of Scotty. We have from Victory of Life, we have Victor Luna. Is Victor? Yeah. Yes, thank you for joining us. What an honor. And then we have representatives from many beautiful and wonderful paranormal investigation teams. We have Ohio Ghost Hunters. And that's Christina. Woo, Christina. I'm not going to mention names until later after our closing ceremonies because of time. Cincinnati Research and Paranormal. Do a selfie. There we go. Reverend Quest. House Town Elementary Ghost Hunters. Yeah. And the Paranormal Truth and Reality.
Yeah, it's us.
That's us, the builders. Putting this together for us. Thank you. We're blessed to have that. We're excited to be here. This is a working process for pushing the message of unity and we are one. With that being said, I want to introduce our metaphysical conductor. And he is the one that's going to be putting and traveling with teams all over the world together, orchestrating them to be unified through spirit, metaphysically, as well with, with intention. So what we do is we start here in the beginning, as we're doing now, our opening ceremony. We come back for the mid cycle, 11 p.m. Eastern time, and then we leave at 12 midnight. And through that process, we come back and meet up with Scotty in order to recharge our batteries and recharge our purpose.
And before Scotty comes up, I just want to make one comment again.
We have the Shindig producer production team. I want to make sure that they get recognition as well. So
One thing before Scotty comes up, because I try to focus a lot on what I tend to want to get out of this, is to get new people involved for the right reasons. So all the people that are attending tonight, if you're seeing this, we want you to listen carefully to what Scotty says. Most teams, if you don't already know that, will have a sensitive or a medium with them in addition to what these ghost hunting teams you're with are using for equipment. And it's a vital link to what's going on. It helps connect a lot of things. So a big part of this is getting into the right mindset and getting yourself ready for the realities of what you're going to be heading into. So
that being said, the founder of Psychics Unite, the co-founder of Psychics Unite. Thank you. I'm so glad.
The honest co-founder.
I'm very glad. That's right. We're certainly doing the right. And a psychic medium represents Scotty Moore. Thank you.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. Good. Okay, that's all right. So this is kind of how we're going to work
tonight. So welcome to those World's Arches Ghost Hunt. I want to give a big round of applause to Bob and Maria. Let's give it up for them. So we've had a lot of time together in the last few weeks and months putting out the books and kind of doing the training. So for those of you that are joining us tonight, we've already prepared ourselves to work with Spirit. Spirit is an amazing thing to know that they're with us at every moment of our life. They're here to help guide us. All we do is have to ask them to be with us. So tonight we do it in a very respectful way. Every group that's out there tonight has a medium with them, or a sensitive, or somebody that's from the spiritual realm. And what we want to do, as Maria talked about, is we want to become one. We're looking for the oneness. And no longer is it ghost hunting and spiritual and mediums are all separate. It's not that. It's got to be everything. It has to be together. And it also has to be with science. Everything has to be together. There can't be one out of the realm because it just doesn't make sense to us. So it's a very exciting time for us. So tonight what I'm going to start off with before we get going in hour one with the questions, we're going to do a quick meditation across the world. So I want all the teams to get ready. I want everybody in the room here to get ready, everybody that's joining us to get ready. We're going to do a meditation, and then I'm going to do a prayer, and then we'll go into explaining how the rest of the night goes. So just a quick meditation. So I want everybody to close your eyes across the world. Everybody close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in and hold it, please. Now let it out. I want you to take another one in and hold it and let it out. I want you to take one more in and let it out. Okay, now I just want you to breathe normal. I want you to count for every inhale, I want you to count 1, and every exhale, I want you to count 2. In 1, out 2. Just count your breath. During this time, if you have any thoughts, just imagine a basket next to you with a lid on it. Put those thoughts into that basket and let it be. Okay? But just count your breath in and out. We just want you to feel how your body works. We want you to feel relaxed. We want all the teams across the world to be relaxed right now and just breathe. We're going to let Spirit in with us. We just need to breathe and be us. Just breathe. Now I want you to imagine yourself in a shower with a spigot of water. It can be any temperature you decide, but please make it, a shower that's enjoyable. I want you to breathe in the shower, and I just want you to relax and breathe. Just enjoy this shower. Imagine the water coming from the spigot over your head, down your shoulders, down your body, legs, over your feet, under your feet, and into the drink. Just be in the shower. Just relax, breathe, and get rejuvenated by the shower. Now, as you're imagining the water, I want you to change it into God's love, God's white light of protection. Imagine that out of the spigot, the white light is covering us in a warm glow, this beautiful glow, this beautiful protection. God is protecting us this evening. So it's going down your head, over your shoulders and arms, down your legs, down your feet. You're completely covered by God's love. Know that tonight, no matter what happens across all the United States and the world, that you are protected. And no energy will come in other than the ones you allow in. And you shouldn't allow any energy. I'll just make sure it's your energy and that you can talk and feel Spirit. Know that today we do it for our highest and best good. So stay in this white light of protection this evening, and you'll be guided, you'll be guarded, and you'll be loved. Okay, now I want everybody to kind of open your eyes and come back and get ready to go this evening. So we're going to stand up, and I want everybody in the room to stand up. We're going to say a prayer together. And I want to pray tonight with everybody. So everybody on the computers, everybody. Yeah. For a second, I want everybody to stop across the world. Whatever we're doing, I want you to stop and hold hands. Okay. Because again, we like to believe. Okay, I come Let's bow our heads. Dear infinite intelligence, we ask that you come to us this evening and guide us. We ask that the oneness be with us this evening. I want everybody in the world to know tonight we need to be guided together. So right now in this circle, and then the circle across the world, I want us to all hold hands and send energy to each other. And then each circle across the world will send this energy into the air, into the universe. And this energy will link all together and will link every location, will link all our souls, all our energy, all our love will be linked across this world this evening. We ask that every team does this now and feels the energy going through each one of us, through the circle and up into the universe. We ask that you guide us for the highest and best good and leave the spirits that we do not want to talk with this evening away from us. This is a gathering of love. This is a gathering of spirit. We need to be together. So we ask this evening that we rise up together as a one nation and be love and give love to the world. We do this in your name. Amen. Thank you. All right, so as we get going here, we're about to start. We're going to do the timer we got. Timer. 11. Time for 11 minutes. Okay. Good, because I want to kind of distract everybody at home what's going to happen here starting the first hour. We had some confusion tonight, and if you're on Facebook, our Facebook teams are all around. They're going to be more than happy to go ahead and answer questions and shoot them up to me. So now is the time to ask before we get started at the top of the hour. In this first hour, we're going to ask 6 questions. Every team across the world is going to ask these same 6 questions at the same time. So we're going to do them every 5 minutes for a half hour. So we do 6 questions in 5-minute intervals across the first half hour. Then we're going to go ahead again and ask those same 6 questions in the second half hour for 5 minutes apiece. A couple reasons for it. One, we want to give Spirit the time to talk. We want them to get time to answer. Not all the time does Spirit get a chance. If we ask quickly, we want to hear EVPs. We want to get some response. We want the mediums. We want the people that are sensitive. We want everybody to feel Spirit across the world at this time. So that's why we're giving. And then why we're doing it again in the second half hour is we want to see if we get the same messages. So in the first half hour, if we get an answer, in the second half hour, we get the same answer. Phenomenal. We're starting to put together some great evidence. So we're excited for that, and that's what we want. So all teams will do that in the first half hour. And then the second half hour will come up and we'll explain this again. In the second hour. But that's a team crafted time. So what happens in the team crafting, each group is going to do something different. Like, for example, Old Baraboo Inn in Baraboo, Wisconsin is doing a reenactment. We have a seance app. We have a lot of different groups doing different things in the second half hour. So we're all doing it as one. We're still investigating together. We still have built that connection throughout the evening. And that's what we want to use in the second half. So we want to see what kind of answers we get as the teams do it the way they do it. There are some very spirit-led teams, and they can do it. And there's some very tech-led teams, and they can do it their way. So we're just excited to let the teams be what they want to be during the second hour this evening. We have the mayor of Hamilton here tonight, so he's going to come up and get us started this evening. When we're about ready, we're going to give everybody a few minutes. You'd rather not.
I can say 1 or 2, but
okay.
I'm not good with firearms.
No, it's not. It's a little. We'll show you. Okay. Okay, so the mayor will come up and see our work too, so we're excited to have him here. So, but if you have any questions, now's the time to ask before we get going this evening. And for you all at home, you're on Shindig. That's also, we have links on Facebook, right, everybody? And then we also have Facebook Live. Oh, yeah, let's talk about that too. So, Michael has the work behind him, and it's taped right here. And we've been doing this for about 6 months. We've been talking about this work. We've been putting it out in the universe. I've flown around the country, and when I'm in the air, I give the word to the air. So that'd be a good place to do it. But I do it in every moment I think about this word. So there is one word across the world that we've put out there. And we hope all the teams, or even you at home, if you have the word or you're getting census this evening, we want you to interact with us too. We want you to be a part of the world's largest ghost hunt. That's why we have the teams of people at the terminals wanting to interact with you. They're going to interact in different regions across the world, so they're not all trying to do just one team. So, but please feel free to add and put your questions in, ask those questions. But there is one word out there that we're looking for, and hopefully this year we find it, and it has some meaning to us as a group. There's only 3 people that have it. Bob, Maria, and myself are only 3 that know the word, and we put it behind Michael's picture, and we'll review it at the old Baraboo Inn later, and we talk about that. So we're excited to have the word out there. So the word out there, we're looking for same messages. We're looking for unity. Oh, she finished up. Banner. There it is.
That's the word.
Stay right there. So excited to have the word. So one word we're trying to find across the world. So. But tonight is about all of us. Tonight is not about me on stage here. It's not about Bob and Maria, even though they put it together. It is about us coming together as a universe. It's coming for us to get in touch with the universe and be one. It is no longer time that I'm better than you, this is better than that. No. We're as members of Terry and I are members of Seconds Unite. We're trying to unite the world together. And Bob and Maria are trying to unite together. And that's why we thought this was such a great event. I've been here 2 years now, and I'm not going anywhere. This is so exciting to unite the world. We're not trying to unify. We're trying to unite. It's completely different. We're not trying to make paranormal unity where everybody has to do it the same way. That's not what we're looking for. Because the second hour of this evening is going to be every team doing it the way they want to do it, and that's what it is. We're united as one. We're united as a cause. We're united, but we're not unified, and that's okay. Because everybody has different ideas. There is no set way to do any of this, but we know that there is one set idea, and this is it. It's love. If we don't come across from a place of love, if we're not doing this with love, if we're not trying to of the spirits that are around us, then we're doing it for the loved ones. And if we then aren't living the love after this time or every day of our lives, not giving, that's a shame. We need to be coming from a place of love. So, love, oneness, unite, that's the type of words that we're looking for. And any one of those 3 is not the word behind it. So just tell me. So, it's not those words. So, it's a completely different word. It has nothing to do with that sort of sense. We're going to have fun tonight, though, too. So, it's, go studying Spirit's love when we have energy. We're excited. So, we're very excited for that. So, you should be excited, too. Does anybody asking questions already? No, everyone's listening. Dang, it's scary.
Got tons of questions over here.
Okay, shoot them.
I'm working on.
No, you're fine. All right. She's making this. So, Mayor. Yeah, come on up, Mayor. Welcome.
Good evening. Thanks for coming in. Welcome to Truman Village, Hamilton, Ohio. And in the name of positive energy in the community, we welcome you here. And looking at a number of other buildings across the world that are being part of this international ghost hunt is actually great. There's jails, there's courthouses, there's speakeasies. This room works at Hamilton, the Historical Society building. So this is exciting. It's fun, and it is community. So I hope that we all have some fun and maybe even learn a few things internationally about what's going on. And again, thank you for coming to Hamilton, Ohio.
It's the center of the universe tonight.
It is. Thank you. So welcome. Thanks
So with all of us here together, how many days are we attending?
Oh.
No, what's the time?
Time?
Yeah, 3 minutes somewhere in the world.
It's still there. We still got to see. There's one that's a half hour ahead.
It's nice to space for being
When we split up for this part, I would say orange go upstairs, and I'll take green downstairs.
There is. You have to tell us what.
And we got sensitives here.
We're okay for that kind of
our team. Feel free to participate.
See, even the mayor is
talking.
Yeah. So hopefully good stats.
Or you might get their hidden word that they got behind the same microphone.
that are tuned in, if you're within shouting distance of Hamilton, we're in German Village, which is right off of the main street, High Street as it comes through town. 131 Village Street. 131 Village Street. We're going to be here for a couple hours. You can see some live streams that are going to be rotated by all of our volunteers. They're going to have a certain number of live streams. You'll be able to see people, see our video with every location pictured, which is really a beautiful thing to see, all the participation. And we invite you to stop out and just be part of this. It really is a powerful environment, and people are knowing that we have so many connections around the world. And I got to tell you, people are very, very excited. Everyone we've talked to, because they have a ghost town in front of them, and they know they're part of something much bigger than just at their place.
And tonight, the collective consciousness that we're going to have together, there's always gives absolutely great air for this kind of experience.
Hey, my phone says 9:59, and it doesn't have a second to count out the minutes, so I'm pretty close.
So let's all
So it's like New Year's Eve.
Let's count. Ready? 10.
Let's just do it.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That's just
So orange upstairs, I'll let Margaret take you guys up there and Frankie. Sorry. Okay, green team, we'll go down to the basement. Wherever you want to go, Danny, it's fine. Okay.
Let's go into the basement.
So green, go ahead and follow.
Ready to go?
Frankie?
Let's take it back.
We also get the stairway, I guess. As you can see by far, this is not our normal event. I'll let you guys back. Here. Good. Better down here. Oh, we got a good draw on this. This is the stairway where they saw the shadow thing on that one time. Is this the light from back here?
Yes.
We're gonna need some ambient light.
Yes.
So, what do you want me to do?
Just come in here with them.
All right. It's gonna get dark, folks.
You got the light too.
You gonna go ahead, Terry? Uh-oh. Hey, Greg. It disconnected.
Disconnected?
Yeah, it's probably poor signal or something. Probably poor signal.
Here, I can turn on some lights there.
Go ahead back in there, Terry. Get the obvious running. I'm not gonna hold up stuff because of the Facebook feed. I'm sorry. What's it say?
Record video. I think we just need to go upstairs. It's just not going to work in the basement. It's just not enough signal.
So, okay, I'll let you take it. Let's go where you can, okay?
Yep. All right.
Okay. I'll call Frankie if there's something going on down here. So you got it then, Dave?
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't record in the basement due to bad signal. So we're gonna have to find somewhere else to go. Just it cuts out in the basement. So I'm gonna move somewhere.
See if you can do upstairs.
Yeah, we're gonna go upstairs, folks. Where's everybody at?
Near it. It'll move. I'm certain to start by saying Happy Michaelmas Day. People don't know what Michaelmas is. It's back before, actually, Christianity is who brought it, and it is the end of the harvest. And they celebrate Michaelmas Day in the 4 quarters, and Michaelmas Day actually happens to be one of them. And it's the day before the harvest is brought in. And I don't know if any of you read medieval history, but it was a day of celebration. And it's St. Michael, and St. Michael protects us. So we're gonna use my pin on and see if we can get some answers. If you have any questions, please ask. Ask the spirit questions. Anybody's got any questions for them? We're trying to get them to talk to us. I'm gonna ask a question, and you're gonna hear, make yes in circles. Yes, Michael, you're right. If the answer is yes, it goes clockwise, and if it's no, it just moves back and forth. And so they're energy, and you can see my hand is not moving, and I'm holding it. Do you want to talk to us? Are you going to give a little bit? Are they confusing you? Do you want me to ask questions, or do you want someone else to ask them? So who do you want to ask the question?
On the second question, Margaret.
We're trying for the second one?
Yeah.
What is your wish for the world? What do you want us to do? What is your wish? Your most. Can you come tell us? Can you come talk to us? We got some K2s. We got the camera going. Do you want me to be here? Yes. If y'all get anything, if you know, like, because the question I asked, if you feel anything, or you've heard anything, or whatever you come, let me know, so we can have it on the camera. Because what we're gonna do is, at our break, we're gonna go over and see if the answers that they have, even if it's not the same answer. I'm sorry? Maybe if you hold someone else's pendulum, your energy, it wouldn't be my energy anymore, it would be your energy. And your pendulum, don't let anybody play with your pendulum. Okay. Because that's yours, when you hold it, and you say your prayer, it's your energy that's in it. Okay. So that's only yours. Okay. And I'll tell you later how to cleanse it. Okay. That's for tonight. And I'll tell you how to do that and you can cleanse it. But the energy actually comes from you down into the picture. Okay. And yes, answers are around. No answers are back and forth.
Aren't they different for some people?
I'm sorry?
Aren't they different for some people?
They are different from some people. A lot of people, a lot of energy. Like me, I can't hold a K2. Because if I hold that K2, it goes off. I've got so much energy going through my body. It makes it, I get a false reading. So I can't hold one. They won't let me. I'm banned. What is the greatest quality humans possess?
What was the question?
The question is, what is the greatest quality humans possess? What? Oh, there you go. You coming closer? Can you tell us? Man, I said man.
Your shot.
Take your shot. They told me to take my shot. Anybody have any questions? Please ask.
Does he like us being here?
Thank you. We're on the third question.
And that was, what's the greatest quality humans possess?
Reach.
It's the greatest quality humans possess.
Reach out. Is it love? Is it understanding? us humans hold a high value of life. Can you give me something from the other side? Tell me what's going on. Do you want us to understand? Do we feel more than any other animal? God is good. That's spooky. Yeah, he is. Look.
That was nice. Art's gonna
And you make it stop.
And
That's another question.
How does one achieve peace? Are we a peaceful nation? Can you help me answer this question? Because you don't seem too much at peace when I'm in this room. You don't seem at peace when I'm here.
text.
Text. Well, yeah, they're texting. Do you mind people being in your room?
I just connected to
Are we peaceful? I can be, but I'm normally pretty laid back. I think these people are pretty laid back. What do you think?
Can we go lights on in here so we can capture this?
What?
Is that okay? Can we go lights on in here so we can capture this?
Yeah.
I don't know where lights on is.
Okay.
Right.
Do it.
Okay, go for it.
Not today. Not today. Word for it. Discipline, but not today. Obviously, we're not going to achieve peace today.
Well, the thing is, whatever, even though you're not coming in.
Obviously, it's not happening.
I can see everything.
Can you help me?
So
You don't like it when I'm in here.
Starts happening, but you can still see it as viewers. On what you're taking. So.
And you're in, is there a reason why? What have I done to you? I try to be a peaceful person. Are you mad at me in particular? Or is it something I've done, something I've said to make you angry? You got a big accent. Yeah. So I made you angry. I do apologize. I inspect. Do I inspect you when I come in here? Boy, you're shaking. Look at it. It's just jiggling. Look at it. My hand's not moving. What have I done to you? I try to be peaceful for you. That's my goal is to make you at peace. Is it something I did?
Yes.
Truly, from the bottom of my heart, I didn't mean to do anything. 5 minutes? For what? What did I do? St. Michael's with me. I've got all these wonderful people here. I don't think there's, are they scared? Are you scared of me? I don't think oh, you're just gonna shake it. Look at it. I apologize if I've done something or said something to make you mad. I can't figure out what I've done. Is it because I know? I don't think.
Is it working with the camera on the table?
No, is that what that what it will do is the energy will go up toward my arm. How can we improve our lives?
I'll do a little tour of the rest of the rooms while it's a bit busy in there.
So right now the question is, Spirit, how can we improve our lives? So that's what we're going to do for the next 5 minutes, and we're still in. How many take the time? All right.
Let's go.
Somebody believe?
It's getting harder now.
Can you make it stop? He's all over the place. I was pissed. That was weird. And now we're just gonna figure out how can we improve our lives? How can we make it better for you? How can we make it better for each of us? All of us. Do we tell
We're
the
going up on
truth?
stage, so I was telling it. You guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Everybody say hi.
Hello.
How are you?
We're good. We're getting some activity in here tonight. My name is Margaret, and I'm one of the citizens on the team. And in the room, we had a young man that was cleaning outside this window. The rope that he was attached to.
This window here, the rope that he was attached to, he was pushed, is what we're getting from the ghost box over here. He was pushed up this high hill, and the rope is still in the floor right here from that incident. And the pendulums were going crazy when we were asking.
You people. I said you people, it doesn't.
You people.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
And he's kind of angry. I think he's saying that it doesn't matter about our impact.
Oh, you're.
So we're trying to settle.
And this K2 just went off.
This one's going off.
Yeah.
Our K2 is going off. This room's very active tonight. We caught a black shadow in that mirror. We're going to look at the tape and send it to you guys.
Do you want
You got
to
it.
say hello? You've got an audience. Can we do this now?
You got it. You got it.
We have an audience. You want to tell them? And was it the person that pushed you? Was it human or was it a spirit? Okay, was it human?
Sir.
No. Was it a spirit that pushed you?
You, bro.
Did you see this spirit at any time while you were here working? Oh, I know. Well, I was like, where did that come from? Okay, now, the question is going to be, now please tell us the secret word that was selected and is protected by St. Michael at our command center. So, I need you to tell me, I need you to dig deep into my brains, these people's minds. We don't know what it is, but we have, can you tell me? Spirits can transcend over many locations. Can you tell us the word that they're looking for?
And why not?
Why not? Why not? Hey, why not? Can you tell these people? Can you tell me? He's drawing a lot of energy. He's not happy. I gotta come up with this word. You gotta help me. Can you help me over there? Is the word protection? about shining light? That's what's coming through, is shining light. It is shining light. You hear it? It's like you know, somebody said that. You see it? Do you hear it? It is. Is that what the word is? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's see. He's saying shining light is what he's saying, shining light. Is the light too bright? Can you make one of these go off again? The closer you get, the stronger you get.
Or can you go to Canada?
Yeah.
You got the reason why.
There you go.
The reason why. The reason why. Reason why, because we want to know you're here. We want to know you're here. And that's the only way that you
Maybe take me too. I swear I said K2.
That's like go further. Go further. Go further back. You gotta talk to me here.
Shoot.
These questions. And do y'all want to go into Grumpy Man's room? Sure. Or do you want to go into Abby's room? Which one is Grumpy Man's room? That one's straight across.
I got the weird feelings then.
I both walk in there and leave it.
In there and it goes to the back.
Yeah.
Got some weird.
Whoops.
Let's go back to the top of your list. Ask them the way you want to in this half hour. It's the same question. So our first question is, how do we communicate with spirits? Spirit, give us the best answer.
Because it's starting over.
We want this
Yes.
How do we communicate? I'm great, how are you? Is everybody? We have some stuff going on. 2 minutes ago, we were back to the number two. I'll pursue it. Myself and one of the team members all inaugurated one of the cells on this line. Person, the other person, not person. We had us while we were asking questions. And we walked into the cell, checked it out, and written on his on the mail. We thought it was kind of cool. Which is great. It was also something that the team before us mentioned that she did went out. We had a team member who was a battery pack, so we're seeing good energy drains across the board. And what are you guys again? Okay. Want to thank you guys. Got a great video, but a great signal there. First, just goes on. Our first question is, how do we communicate with spirits? So that's what that's the first question I'm writing down in this half hour. Hill House Manor in Texas. Hey guys.
Hi. We are having activity here. We've been having activity since about 6 o'clock this evening. We've had people get touched. We got our answers to those questions in 5 minutes. We had the answers to all the questions. And we didn't linger on the question because they'd already answered it. We went on to the next question. And we had a funny answer to that question too on improving our lives. Get off the phone. Get off the phone. Yeah.
Get off the phone.
So,
That's a good one too.
exactly.
That's a great way to answer it. Really. Get off
It
the
is.
phone.
Yeah, exactly. But the activity has been really high. We've been getting answers to questions. We're using several pieces of equipment that are just going off like crazy. Unless I walk in the room, I'm the owner. If I walk in the room, they shut up. So I'm sitting here at our command center, trying to stay out of the way so that they can all interact.
So tell us about your location.
Okay, we're Hill House Manor, and we're in Gainesville, Texas, which is at the northern border of Texas and Oklahoma. It's a very old house. It was built before the 1880s. It started as a one-room house, and then they brought in another one-room house and joined the two of them together, and it's now 3,000 square feet with an upstairs, and it's all been added just piecemeal. The legend has it we were a speakeasy during Prohibition, and we get a lot of EVPs to that effect. We're known for our EVPs.
I see the team right there behind you there. I see their flashlights and stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Is it a team or is it ghosts? I'm just looking.
It must be ghosts because the team is in the other side of the house.
Look at that. I saw it right here with my own eyes. I was seeing it right behind your hat. There's the white.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they were up and down. That's why I thought the team was right there. It's right behind the yellow thing right behind you.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, what is that? Is that car? Is that you? Is that?
That's got to be a reflection of me in the window behind me.
Okay. Well, look at
That's
it.
not though.
So.
That's not.
Well, very nice to talk to you. Keep coming back to us and let
All
us know
right.
what's happening. So we're still on the first question. The second one is how do we communicate with spirits? Grand Imperial Silverton's coming up on the street next to us. Bring them up. Excited to have them. We're working on the question, how do we communicate with spirits? How do we communicate with Maria sitting right there? We don't. She's ready for bed. It's not even going, so. Hi guys, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you guys?
We're great. We're getting a lot of activity. Oh, thanks. We're dressed as trigger objects instead of having trigger objects. And so we're getting the mail meter is going crazy. We're playing big band music, and it's loving it. We've seen orbs. I mean, it's just crazy.
Wow, that's wonderful. That is so cool. You guys look great in those outfits. So it looks really good.
Thanks. There's a lot of them.
So what did you guys dance?
Well, we have one. Yeah, you know it. Cheers.
I'll dance with you right now. Stand up.
Okay, let's go. Scotty.
We're dancing across the world. There we go.
Oh, see here. Can you see our mail meter? Well, let me get it. Right next to the big band music. And we're playing big band music.
Oh, they like that. That's really cool.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. We're getting activity. Thank you. Come back to us again. Once you guys get us
Okay.
We're excited. Thank you very much. Excited. Terry, where are we at? Questions? What? Are we on to the third question? Okay, guys, let me know. So, what is the greatest quality humans possess? So that's what we're asking. question in the second half hour. So we're working at the 5-minute mark of what is the greatest quality you possess? That's the answer is the greenery of Bryan, Ohio. Ohio covered. I love it. Love Ohio. We should move here. Activities everywhere here in Ohio. Every year. So we're going to bring them up on the screen. So let's watch that here in a second. We'll bring up the greenery of Bryan, Ohio. You know about Ohio, right? It's going to the ends of Ohio, right?
Hey, Scotty.
Yeah, how are you? Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. We had some activity. We actually had to pull one of our guests out. They had somebody try to their voice changed, their aura changed. We're taking care of it now, but we've got high activity.
I do that. Make sure you guys are praying. Take them outside and bless them, and really get that white light over them again and get them protected.
We are.
Okay, good.
We also have had batteries dying, cameras malfunctioning, some crazy stuff tonight.
That's nice. I mean, not that I like the thing, especially with people that are there as guests, but that's really everybody in the world that's saying these prayers again. Let's really think about that. And we're going to get Victor up here for Victor to line up in the second half. Give us another prayer for the second half so we can really get protected again right after we end these questions. So we're very excited to have that. So keep it working. Nice job. Thank you so much for taking care of that person. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. So we're in the third question of the second half of the third portion of the third night. Whatever, it's the third question again. So we're asking it again. So, what is the greatest quality humans possess? So, make sure we're asking that across the room too. Sure, let's go to one. Yeah, let's bring Monticello, Florida with us. And I'm up in 3, 2, 1. They are Midnight Boy Enter the Boys and Girls Club. Hi guys, welcome.
Scotty.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Scotty, how are you?
I'm awesome, thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
We wouldn't miss it for the world. For the world, literally.
We're watching you right now, so it's great. What's happening?
Well, actually, we have had lights flickering on and off. We've had EMS going off. We've had a random word generator saying some interesting things like corresponding to the questions. I mean, I would kind of always be a little skeptical of that, but it's kind of giving us answers to some of the questions that we've asked. So I really think that the energy's really, really high tonight. I can tell. In fact, we're having like silent lightning storms going on outside of the John Denham house right
the
now.
lights are flickering outside.
So it's like there's no sound, there's no thunder. It's just like a light show. It's really, really,
light show,
really
just
great.
energy showing themselves, right? That's great.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds like you guys having a lot of good activity happening there. I'm really glad Spirit's answering the questions for all of us, you know.
We can't wait to submit it so you guys can see, you know, when we turn in all the evidence.
If I can't wait to do the reveal show too, because that should be great to see what's all there. Because I think we're going to get some great answers out of this. So I'm just so excited. So very nice to have you guys. Very nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you come back into the second hour with us? We have to bring you guys up here.
Okay. Thank you, Scotty.
Yes. Bye bye. Love you guys. Activity in Springfield, California. All right, California's up there with us. So let's go on to the next question. As we read California, we should be. How do we achieve peace? That's the question we're asking. How do we achieve peace?
No.
You guys, welcome.
Hello.
see 7 spirit box for that big thing. So, what is your wish for the world? Our answer that we got was straight back. That's what they said. So, straight back. So, there's a thought. I don't know. We got that over by the 8 border in holes.
That's cool though. That's cool that you guys got a direct answer to one of our questions.
We did. We got a direct answer. Yeah.
That is so.
Yep. So we're in California. Wonderful weather. We're having a good time. That's the only response we've gotten so far.
Well, good. Maybe you got some IMVP too, so we'll see what happens.
Right. Got the BP going right here. Yep.
Sweet.
We're happy to be
Great
part
to
of
meet
it.
you guys. Hopefully we'll be back in the second hour. Let us know what else happens.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So we're in the question, how do we achieve peace? So that's the question we're answering. As you can see, all the teams across the world are really starting to get some activity. And it's been happening ever since we started for, I think we're running 45 minutes now into this thing. What time is it? 10:45. We got 3 questions left at 10:45, so we're really good. So we're on how does one achieve peace? So that's our 5-minute question right now. So very excited, very super nice. I'm so glad that teams are having it. Unfortunately, one team had a rough time with one of the guests, so I'm glad that team is helping that guest become safe and protected, and that's what it's all about this evening. So we really need to make sure that when we're doing these questions, we're talking to the spirits that we're doing this for our highest and best good. We're looking for the spirits that really will help us. And yes, even if the answers are what we deem negative, we're still looking for that answer. Because we want the truth from spirit. We want them to give us the real answers so we can help put it together and really come up with a plan and some ideas for us for the future. So I'm super excited about this all. Very, 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 very excited. And you know, it's so exciting, you know, because I told you about this. Me and Bob got me this chair that I was going to sit in all night. I haven't yet. I haven't, at least not even once this evening during the show have I sat on this chair. Because I'm just so excited at the activity we're doing. So very, very cool. So super, super. So any other teams, please call in. If you're at home getting energy. I know last year we had people at home that had some activity happen. If we do, hit in, and all other crews around here be more than happy to get you out. Bring somebody in. We're bringing in Chase, you've got
Nice, Chase. Just want to jump on camera real quick again. So letting us know activity, use either the question feature, big question mark, or raise your hand. It should be a hand symbol. Both on and will let us know what's happening and we can bring you up. Thanks, guys. That was some really good activity. Keep it going.
There's Chase right behind me right there. There it is. And the cool Ghostbusters jacket. That's it. So, all right, let's move on. Are we ready for the next question? 1 minute left. So we're still on how does one achieve peace. So make sure we're doing that. Make sure we're asking that. President Ohio, Prospect Place. We have 765. Nice. President Ohio right here. So bring the camera with me. I think I can do this, right? Just spin the head. Oh, wait, we're gonna bring them off the line. Nice.
It looks like it's still going, doesn't it? Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
So Sandy's phone.
So is that?
Yep.
Hi, guys, and welcome. Hey, guys.
Go.
Anybody got touch?
There you go. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Should I try carrying to the basement again?
Hi.
That's right.
Hi. Good, how are you?
If I go quick, right?
Wrong side.
Walking by you real quick.
Oh, sorry.
Try not to lose the feed. seeing the candle in it. There it is, okay. We got a feed now.
Does it feel like you're cold?
Yeah.
Does it feel like someone's holding you?
No. Just kind of chills. I was getting it in the other room, but I ain't getting it here.
So did you hear about what happened?
No.
You said you need to get something against this like this, and that freezing door came open hard enough where it knocked him forward, and I felt it jolt me like that on this table.
Bang.
Yeah, it was loud.
The freezer door open on you?
Yeah. Yeah, they heard it in the other room. They asked, was that in there?
It's
Yeah.
on here.
Right here. He's leaning against it just like that.
It was almost like a bang from the inside.
Hey, Frankie, we did that activity in the basement.
I'm still lit up.
Yeah, you might want to get mad and attend you on this.
It was like something hit it from the inside.
Yeah, it hit hard enough. I was leaning against just like this, and it knocked me forward. Like it moved this whole thing, and that's stainless steel. It don't move.
Well, he went to go see if they heard it on the other side. If there's anybody on this wall.
Well, if there's something on the wall, this thing sits far enough away. Well, they had no thing on that and sitting on concrete, so
That's true.
there's no explanation for it. Did it loose at all or anything?
It's pretty solid.
That's why it moved me, because it's up against
Oh,
this.
it hit that. Okay. Right
Came
on
up.
the side.
Came up and hit this. But this don't move. This is stainless steel table.
It's solid.
Yeah, it ain't gonna move, especially stuff on top of it. Nothing like that at all.
It was a loud bang, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What were you guys doing at the time?
Yes,
We used to lean against like this, talking to Terry, and Terry was asking why, why certain people don't like this room and stuff like that.
Why does he run people out of this?
Yeah. Why does he run
So
people out
you
of
weren't
this
really
room?
asking, there's a normal day talking about it, and boom.
Yeah, and then Terry did ask why you run people out of this room. That's when it did that. Oh yeah.
I contacted Vince to it. I thought maybe it's a problem with my ass.
There's my light button on there.
Oh,
it's not big enough.
But there was a freezer door. What they were sitting down here before I got down here. They were talking with Terry about why does whatever here try to run people out. And then in the middle of it, that freezer door down there.
No, when he's against,
Oh, the one he's leaning on there.
against.
Popped up hard. What happened with this door there?
Nothing. It was open when it came in.
Okay, so it felt like something trying to come out of the freezer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
It
hit
like
hard.
almost what it felt like is somebody punched it.
Yeah, it hit hard.
It was like a punch from the inside that hit on the lid.
Is Frankie down here?
Don't know.
Frankie, you want to see if you can come down and get a feed from the basement?
I'll leave my light on for a minute. Oh, Matt's got their light on.
I'm not feeling the goosebumps anymore.
Alright, we got about 7 minutes.
Not so much.
We did have a pretty,
Not like what it
big
was.
thing happen down here, so I'm gonna come down and get it on Shindig.
Yeah, they're kind of on some side, isn't it?
It's sad. It's still there, but not as.
Right.
The closer I get to energy, the more they go up.
Are there just some people who just don't feel anything?
Yeah. Say some people that don't feel?
I mean,
I'm one of them.
really?
I feel absolutely nothing ever.
He's what's known as an insensitive.
Yeah.
The insensitive.
I'm just not in tune. Not in tune with it. And I mean, I've had some pretty big things happen, but I have no forewarning. I don't hardly ever feel anything. If I do, something's going on.
I normally don't feel much either, but I sure did in that other room. It was kicking in me in high gear with my hair was sticking up, goosebumps and everything in that laundry room.
Were you down here when that happened to you?
Yeah.
How would you explain it?
I was just standing like right about right here. And those two jumped up.
You can hear it.
Yeah, you could hear it. Confused.
So like someone in the freezer kicking it, or
Pretty much, just confused me.
I thought it was in her head. I have no idea.
I said it hit hard enough when I felt it over here, it kind of pushed me off like that.
It vibrated.
Yeah.
well, that's probably too new of a freezer. Maybe it was used for Jimmy Hoffa for a while.
Well, I mean, there's some shrimp in there. I don't know if it was trying to escape, but there's some shrimp. I think Jimmy Hoffa's up underneath it, maybe.
There you go.
He's up underneath there.
So we
You
got,
down here doing okay?
yeah, the ones I went through. I think with that basement door open, it helps too. Dahmer knows pizza freezer. Yeah, it's starting to glitch there.
Yeah.
I might have to make a run for the stairs.
Yeah.
You want to go back where that freezer is and see if you pick up something.
That's where I was. There was a bunch of Native Americans in there.
Go ahead, since you got equipment there.
Thanks. We have the intermission time here in a few minutes. So I'm going to set this in here somewhere.
It was on TV.
Pardon?
The basement, they had them on there.
On this feed? How'd they get that on
What's his
there?
name, Terry? This guy down there with the bald head that came in late.
Terry?
Yeah. They just had him on there, yeah. The Sister Sea House. The big guy was on filming it.
It was on the big screen.
He was right there on the side there.
Oh, yeah, that's so small. That's not on the main stage.
No, it was right there.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't over there.
Let's get in your way if I leave this sit here a minute.
No, go ahead.
That way I can, people watching, not getting out.
Hi guys, welcome. Hello, thank you.
Things just saying everything.
The audio is that clear? Yes.
Well, for some reason, they made that that time.
Maybe I was just going too slow.
Sometimes right about two years ago.
Some of you don't go that nuts. They don't. Usually says a word like every few minutes.
So.
Is that yours or it's ours? It's 3. We got a 4. Linda's got a 5. We got, what is it, the 7? It's not a number. The 4 we got though, it's like every time you turn it on, it says no SD card. It's brand new. The SD card's in it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful that you're protected like that. So even in
I took it out of the box. If it was at home, I was going to ask their tech guy about it. I don't think it's in here. It's at home.
that's where I have to
That doesn't mean that the stuff doesn't happen. You experience that.
You heard that, huh? You can't say
You were on TV.
What? Do what?
They just brought it down there. You were sitting there?
Yeah, because the children were in there talking to me.
What did they say?
John and Sarah.
Just the battery in there.
Huh? They were adding more to that question answered from what we asked earlier? Serious?
That one's really good. Because it just had us on here a moment ago. With that Tanya, that Terry guy.
This is what the children were saying.
What?
The Word Count Bible.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying, adding on to what they said earlier, they were saying part of what you need to do is believe. They were saying we need to believe.
Okay.
They were saying that they were here. Some of the spirits are still here because part of their purpose is to make us believe. Because yes, we're going to go away from us, so they want us to believe again. So part of the job of the spirit, believe in God. So the children were telling me when they were asking me questions downstairs, they added on more when I was in the hallway, and they were telling me the word is believe. Because part of the reason I'm getting chills on this, part of the reason that the spirits stay behind is everybody's got their own job. And part of it is to make us believe again. Because some people are away from where they're supposed to be.
So they're from heaven? Some of them are from heaven? They're not stuck behind?
They're not stuck. There's a lot of kids, there's a lot of people back and forth.
So like I could see my dad here.
It's what I see all the time. The families come through, they whenever they want to. They can go back and forth. It's not what we think it is. His mom came through yesterday, and his mom came through down there for right now. His mom has not come through since she died. You know, so they can come back and forth when they want to.
I just want my dad to see my son.
So bad.
My son's named after him. Because I've been praying for over 20 years for a baby. My dad passes away and then I have a baby.
Huh.
You know, I'm sure.
I just wanted to see him so bad.
He probably has.
He has to. He sees them all the time.
I really hope he's.
How old's your baby?
He's only 4 months.
No, your dad.
You never know when he gets a little older.
Your dad was there when your son was born.
Kids are very sensitive.
Your dad was there, and his dad was so proud. He had tears in his eyes. He's kind of like his guardian angel now. Like he kind of watches over him to a certain extent. He just wants you to know he's always there. You just may not see him. And your son, I think, will start seeing him when he's a little bit older, because your son has a sensitive heart to him. So just know that he's there.
How do I know it's my dad?
How do you know it's your dad? There's little things he does, and he comes to you sometimes in your dreams. So that's the only way you can see and feel him. So just know you may not always remember the dreams. I'm getting chills on this too. He's telling me that just look for little signs around the house, because he's going to start doing more things. Things that you think are just odd, he's making sounds and noises, different things in your home that you just brush off. It's just the house settling. It's your father, like, just giving you little signs. You may have a light turn on or off and be on when it's not supposed to be. You may hear things on your above you, below you. Just know he's giving you signs the best he can, because you can't hear him, you know. But it's your dream. Huh?
Does he know how much I love him?
You know, when they die, love is such an important part. Love is so important to everybody, and we always think that they don't know. That everybody, they do know, because they feel it. So don't ever think he doesn't know that.
Thank you.
Don't worry. Just believe. You're welcome. He's always with you. He loves you. You were like his baby.
I was his baby.
You were his baby, and he said he just wants you to know you're there. He's always there for you. You just have to call out to him. Whatever you need, he'll give you.
Will you ask him one thing I always wanted to hear from him? Is that he was proud. I always wanted to hear.
He always was proud. He just couldn't say it because he wasn't brought up that way. So he wasn't an emotional person because that's the way he was raised. But he loved you so much, he just couldn't say it.
Oh my
gosh, thank you. You're welcome. I told you I'd make everybody cry.
See, here you said you were insensitive. Look at all this feeling coming out.
I make everybody cry. I swear I end up crying because I think I've cried more in the last month than I've cried my whole life.
You should.
Every time I do a healing on somebody or a reading, or I start crying because I start crying. Oh my gosh. Huh? Oh God, if I do one of the healings on her, they'll really come through.
You should. See what she wants to do then.
I'm doing my first holistic care next. Huh?
You made her day. Her game made her day.
But the children did say, when we were down, like I said, when we were downstairs, they added on to the conversation we were having about what we need to do as humans.
Mm-hmm.
We need to believe. And they, John and Sarah, they said we need to believe. And they said part of the reason people, some of the spirits don't cross over is because they're there to make us believe. Because we are all gone off. Everybody has a job. So not all the spirits are stuck. Some of them have a purpose. Because they can go back and forth. That's what they were telling me. And that actually makes sense to me what I was doing. I know it's pretty deep. Because the spirits go back and forth all the time. They're not a lot of them aren't stuck. Some of them are, but that's because they want to stay here. They aren't ready to cross over, or there's other reasons.
It said memory.
Huh?
It said memory. That's the first time I ever understood a word it said.
I said Bible and I said believe. So.
It's their intermission. It actually means an intermission.
You know, we were on there.
Yeah, 3 times.
So that one guy came up here and he ran back downstairs.
Okay, welcome back to the second hour of the World's Largest Ghost Time. It's the team crafted session. We'll talk about it in a second, but we'll turn it over to Victor, and he's going to give us some prayer and get us started with the segment. So
thank you, Scotty. In honor of Michael Voss, which is today, coincidentally, and we elders.
The second half is getting ready to start.
I'm going to
do
a little protection prayer in honor of Archangel Michael and all of the angels, which this day is all about. That's all you need is the angels. The angels will come when you invoke them, and they're there instantly before you get the thought out. So in honor of Archangel Michael, feel the presence of Michael within your being and embody you, surrounding you and your team with this angelic radiance. Know that his golden sword
I'm doing another prayer.
from all darkness and all evil. And know that the entire retinue of all the infinite angelic beings are at his command. Archangel Michael is the most powerful of all of the angels, and he defeated Satan in the war of heaven. And this day is in honor of Archangel Michael and all of the angels. We invoke Archangel Michael and he protect all of our investigators this evening. During World Ghost Hunting Day, may he embody, surround,
Did you get any experiences?
each of you in your physical body.
I think that heater might off.
Spirit.
As you said, this is your first time, right?
To banish negative and to surrender enhance your delights. In honor of Archangel Michael, we are all protected.
All the teams are protected. Want to see it, so let's have activity out here. This should be what this should be showcasing your team's creativity. We saw the one team, the guy walking down the stairs having a great time. That's what this hour is about.
Yeah, he was a comic. He kept saying, "This used to be a brothel too. You see all these women behind me?" It was like a comedy relief show. He acted like he was walking down the stairs, you know. He'd go out of camera view and he'd come back up.
Anything on upstairs? Something kicked the freezer door.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
We're doing good. We're here at the Sherman Tavern in Kentucky. And we got one of our members. It's very hard to see, obviously, because we're in the dark here. But
That's a little spooky.
yeah, we got one of our members dressed up in some very old fashioned clothes that would have been worn.
I should have pulled her hair over her face and stand there.
Like what is that? Like, oh, they're making it. Did they see what they look like?
We did. We heard a growling noise downstairs. We're in the attic right now. As far as words that we were getting, we got the word.
That's probably why they're in the attic. Because they heard the growling noise downstairs.
We went to the highest
Those
part
are
of
the
the
two
house.
words that we got so far. So we did actually hear the word angel coming out of the spirit box.
So we are protected by the angels, like very, very cool word.
East, go east.
That's a great word. So
We got the 4, but weren't you the tech guy for them? You know a lot about. Because the 4, when we bought it, we've had a couple years probably, but we've never been able to use it because every time you go to use it, it says SD card
not found.
can't be found, whatever. But it's in it. I've taken it out, put it back in, but it always says that, so I never got a chance to use it. Right now the batteries are dead on it. I couldn't turn them on. Get it going and see if you can check it out.
Yeah, I wonder if
The card could be bad, maybe.
bad read on the card, or does it need to be? Do you have to format?
I tried all that.
Tried formatting.
And now
How big a card do you have in it?
I don't know. It's the one in here.
And now the 3's being weird too, because it's going really fast on it. Like it's going word after word after word. It's not supposed to do that either.
No. Usually that's a sign though, which I don't know if we have a meter out or something. If you get in a really high EMF, like a lot of EMF from an area, it will tend to run a lot quicker.
It does it all the time now though.
Really?
Everywhere we go. And we changed the battery, so it's on the battery.
Does anybody have any Tylenol or ibuprofen? I just took my last one.
Yeah, I got some.
She's got a headache. Somebody does?
What
Oh,
word
thank you.
And just turn out that time. I got it out with that.
What word did we get upstairs? Oh, shining light. Shining light. Shining light. It went all together. Shining light.
Yeah, well, I need like pliers or something.
Yeah, ours, I mean, it said it on the thing, it said shining light. One word, it said shining light, and then that's.
4 gigabyte.
I got light, and then I didn't see light, and then she asked me, and shining light, and it's shining light. So maybe.
What we're gonna do after this intermission broadcast.
Actors look good.
Let's get off. If you're in the basement, go upstairs. If you were upstairs, go to the basement. And we're gonna take an equipment case up and down, so we can let some of you have
Well,
it.
they make it tough to get in and out of, don't they?
Yeah, this thing
Not our
is
style,
crazy.
but, not let you have equipment or anything.
Gotta have good fingernails. Yeah, you got to even push it in. It's like, it's not how to do it. That other screwdriver. I can't get it to even come out. She can't. She's got fingernails. So, I mean, I thought it was upside down, but it would only go in one way. But it won't come on 90 minutes. I don't have any AAAs.
Still going. See, everybody's still here. We're getting ready to get done with intermission here. Then we're going to try to take you back out. I got it away from you. Facing away from you. I get bad luck if I break a teacup. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the case and shut it down there.
Okay.
So now what's going on with stage 2 or whatever?
A normal investigation. Our own technique. We're gonna let the attendees do their thing. So I'm gonna take down the equipment case in the basement. And then we'll arm the attendees with some door-setting equipment and get a better response. And this is also about this.
All right. And this one we can really go at our own pace.
We're gonna go outside for just a second. So we're at the Three Sisters Tea House. Anybody who hasn't, check that out. There's Terry.
Probably water. That's, yeah, usually when we run all that is the setup was on the tea house and on this. Okay, who on the orange wants to go down to the basement versus watch this stuff? If they're past the time of rotation. Okay, so follow me down. We'll take you down with Terry.
And if you were in the basement, we're going upstairs. Yeah, that's where the other where's the basement? Alright, everyone downstairs. Follow the light.
Come upstairs. Yes.
Yes, we do there. Okay.
Okay, this second part is known as the investigative part of this night. And we are going to take this time to, if you don't have your own equipment, you're welcome to use your own equipment, but we will hand out equipment. And we want everybody to basically mill around this upper floor, get a baseline on for EMF, and then we want to know about any weird meter readings, temperature readings, stuff like that. And we'll focus more on equipment this time, and of course what you're feeling as you're milling through the rooms. Now keep in mind, one thing that I like to do, and this is a very small location to do it. Dan, you freaked me out because I didn't see you standing there, so just now I'm like, whoa. A lot of things paranormally like to avoid. So keep in mind, when people congregate in a room, one thing I like to do is stay where I can see the paths out of that room, but stay a little more passive. And that's how I get to see a lot of shadow figures and stuff like that. Because as people will mill through places, things will leave. That's not always the case, but that a good part. Things try to avoid a lot of times. I don't know if they're scared of us. If they don't know us, I mean, that we're strangers to them. Maybe they don't want to interact with us. But keep that in mind as people are congregating and moving around. Watch doorways and things as people walk in rooms and out of rooms, because a lot of times you'll catch glimpses of stuff going on at that point in time. So, with that being said, who wants what? We got K2 meters. Don't worry if you don't know how to use these. I don't know if everyone has used equipment before. Feel free to, we'll go with you, teach you how to use it. And that way, after this segment's over and you're on your own ghost hunting, you'll have a good grip on how to use some of this equipment so that you can use it the rest of the night. So, got a K2 meter? Anybody want it?
I'll take it.
Going once, going twice.
No one else said that I take it.
What do those stick things do?
Those are the.
That's not the proper
These-
term, first of all.
These are dowsing rods.
They're dowsing rods.
And if you're into the metaphysical, basically this is a way to connect you, and you can ask questions, answer questions, get answers, interact with spirits. I'm really horrible at it because I
feel like you can just turn them yourself.
You can.
You can,
That's a
but
fault of them.
But some sensitives that use them a lot believe that just because you're turning them yourself, maybe it's not yourself that's turning them.
Whoa.
If something can basically manipulate you into answering your own question.
and you have to hold it where you don't touch the.
Wow.
We don't touch what? The longer part? I don't know what it's called at all.
These are the dowsing rods, these are the handles.
Okay.
And you only hold these, and then you hold your hands steady.
Great.
You wanna use them?
Millimeters?
Sure.
Anybody want a millimeter?
Stick it in the
Temperature? You got a millimeter?
Yeah.
Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Another millimeter?
That's what she told me to do.
Well, yeah, because you don't have any hands. You can't put it in your pocket, just put it in your frock. And you have to hold just this part here. This has to stay open on this end and this. Because sometimes you have to hold them like this. Let me show you.
Millimeter, K2?
Oh, right, for that.
K2?
And you hold them like that.
The millimeter?
So you're not touching the bottom and you're not touching.
You are sensitive, so you
You
probably
may
can't
want
use
to check
it.
to make sure you don't have the
I-
lights
I-
on.
Probably goes
You may want to
crazy
have
once.
lights
Yeah, this
You
this
can
room
have
has
lights
a lot of
and
energy
noise
already.
on the back side of it.
All sides of it.
That you will find that a lot with sensitives. Margaret, you can't use equipment either, can you?
The only equipment I can use is my penum and the dowsing rods.
This one doesn't have that.
Because basically these measure energy and movement.
Also,
Anytime
it's
energy
graphics
moves
on
through
it.
space, this is going to give you a reading.
Because
Sensitives conduct
they're
energy.
right up against touch.
Right.
You don't
So,
have aerial on yours. Okay.
energy is constantly moving through a sensitive. So a lot of sensitives can't use equipment.
Or use or watches.
Or wear watches.
You notice I don't.
That's one
I
thing
can't
I've
wear them
noticed.
ever.
Some people, I've always wondered about Terry. Terry claims that he can't feel, he's not sensitive. He has a real problem with walkie-talkies, communicating on a walkie-talkie. His never seems to work. And also watches, he has problems with watches.
And blowing light bulbs.
Oh,
Blowing
Matt,
light bulbs.
Matt and I
Yeah.
have blown one. The energy will stop the clock. Will stop the watch on your arm, or it will make it run faster. It's the energy that's coming out of your
It's
hand
amazing. This has no read.
messes with the
It had a read,
battery.
and then it has absolutely
inside.
nothing. I started talking about equipment and blowing stuff, and
I blew it.
you blew it.
While I'm standing
Nothing.
and Matt that was downstairs, Matt and I can blow light bulbs. We're in the same room at the same time, and we're concentrating. We can make light bulbs blow up. We've done it at people's houses.
All right, I have another mail meter. This one works. I don't know what's up with this one. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
These are the big ones. We got it, big boys.
And it's done.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone that doesn't have a piece of equipment? Would you like to use a piece of equipment?
No, thank you.
Okay, we're all covered. We'll all take a millimeter then. I ask that you mill around all the rooms, pay attention to your equipment, what it's reading out, and what happens if you have a millimeter. The lights are pretty easy to understand. The higher they light up, the more it is. And what you're looking for, the baseline. If it doesn't light up the entire time you're using it, other than that one light, then that would be your base. And anytime you see it fluctuate up from that, pay attention to what's going on in your environment. You're getting an EMF hit. Those of us that have millimeters, your top number is your EMF. It's a digital readout. Doesn't matter how high, how low it goes. You're just looking for a base. So if you walk around and say it lands on a 2 pretty much everywhere, or you see 2 a lot, that would be your base, and you're looking for something lower or higher. Now, if it just fluctuates up and then bounces back to 0, and it continues to do that, I would call 0 your base, and you're just then you're having some EMF hits as you're walking around. So also pay attention. The bottom number is your temperature. You're looking for a fluctuation higher or lower that you can't explain. If you walk into a room with 12 people, believe it can raise 2 or 3 degrees just because of your body temperature in the room.
Right now it's saying that like 76 is the base.
And see, I'm running about 75.8, something like that. So just, I usually look for a +5, -5 differential in temperature as you're walking around. But it could be warmer in this end of the building versus that end of the building, so you're looking for rapid change.
Going right down the front door.
What is that? Is that a
She said it
7, 11?
I get 2.
For both?
You're moving now. Can you move in front of me?
Yeah, it looks like a 7.
There's something there, the line is just not reading.
To the right.
The machines don't always pick up spirits. There's no guarantee on that. A
Where
lot
do
of
you
times
guys-
when we have
Where do you have it set at?
Okay, now can you go to the left?
Where do you have it set at?
So yeah, that's
What range?
That's one thing. That's not 100%.
Okay.
It's basically just
For
a
FM?
tool to include in your environment, but just because it's not reading or is reading, doesn't necessarily mean that's 100% spirit. So, all right, with that, let's
And
get
a lot
out
of
there.
times when you bump off at all, and you'll have a spiritual activity in the room.
Right.
There's no guarantee in the way you look at it.
Susan, you can ask it if they're in here, are they to the right, to the left? It says that right and left, and it.
All right. Let's spread out and see if we can get some base readings. Well, it doesn't just.
It's long to the right, or that doesn't sound good.
See when it goes through 76. That's the frequency, so there's no stations or nothing. So that's why there's a long pause. Until it gets to the like 88.1. There's stations, and then you start talking again. That's why you don't hear no answers. It'll be a long pause until it gets to there.
Yeah.
And it starts to talk.
You're funny. I'm not funny.
Yeah, so you hear long pause, or you don't hear nothing.
Well, I didn't hear anything when I was up here earlier. I mean, when I was in here by myself, it was just quiet.
Yeah, tradition does it.
There's a lot of energy around here.
And stay out from behind me. Thank you. Can you come back here? Get right behind me again. Right behind me. There you go. I don't think so. Just 5 minutes, I'll ask.
Hey, Margaret. Could you include a question with the name Edison?
Can I include a question with the name Edison?
See if you get anything to hit on Edison.
Is the gentleman, now what I'm gonna ask you to do is cross them for yes. And make them go out for no. Do you know the name Edison?
Edelton.
Is it an E name? Yes. Is it?
Let's say hello.
Yeah. Hello. It's an E name. Is it?
They touched my arm with Edelton.
Is it end with an N?
It's getting really cold in here.
Do you know that Edison supposedly made a light bulb? Yes.
Don't tell me you got Thomas Edison up here.
Are you the same name as Edison with the light bulb? Are you old? No. Are you in your 20s? I need to know if you're in your 20s. Are you not answering me because I'm the one asking the question? Somebody ask the question.
Are you 42? It's gonna be Edelton, not Edison. Edelton.
Are you? Well, you didn't like me answering the question. Danny asked an age.
Are you older than 20? Are you older than 30?
Is that yes or no?
We got a yes on the spirit box.
And this is
Are you
yes.
older than 40? Are you older than 50?
No.
Are you younger, or no, are you older than 45?
I said no.
You already said that.
42.
Are you 42? Are you 43?
Try 1942.
1942? Was you born
I feel really.
in 42? Yeah, you're getting kind of shaky. Sorry, Margaret. Are you 42?
I'm shaking. I gotta put these down for a minute.
You have children here too. You're touching my arms. The energy of the first family lived in the property in the house. 3 girls.
I heard that. Did you hear it? He said, I heard that. What did you hear? What?
Is Garrett here? Mr. Garrett, are you here?
You ever used a compass? My name is Edelton.
Edelton.
Edelton, was you British? Sounds like a...
Students. And so the guys before students came on the cast.
Yeah. They say you're educating them.
It's a mark.
You kept asking an age. The radio kept saying I'm dead.
I'm dead. What? We didn't ask that.
But he kept saying that. Well, what age did you die?
Yeah, that would have been a better question. What age did you die?
It's hard to get a yes or no out of that, though.
It's not,
I mean, that may answer it on the go spot.
and it's not doing a thing. It's like,
What age were you when you died?
Was there anybody that lived in this house that had been in one of the world wars
Right.
that you know of?
Not that I know of, but I don't know the history either.
So there's a gentleman here in a uniform.
Sam.
Sam?
The name's Sam.
Does the name's David or Johnny or anyone?
I got Johnny.
Oh. Happy person, Judge, happy person.
I got Johnny when I walked into that room. Johnny and David.
Is there a Sam?
A lot of names coming up.
Yeah, Johnny and
But
David.
at one point in time, this was a hotel,
It could have
so
been
anybody could have stayed.
anybody.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
I don't know what the time period when it was a hotel.
The judge.
It was a courthouse. Well, they had court hearings here.
Oh, okay. Judge and heavy percent. Heavy percent.
Shameful.
There wasn't a hanging judge in this building at one time, was there? I mean, the hanging tree's here close. Do they have a hanging judge in here?
Nothing. Look, I've never had them not do anything. They're not doing a thing. Haven't moved. Was there a hanging judge here? A hanging tree's out there. Orphanage. What about the orphanage? The children. Did the person who lived here own the orphanage building? Are you still mad at me? Are you still angry with me? You were angry with me earlier.
Hair's moving.
Are you still mad?
It's getting cold right now.
Are you just ignoring me?
This guy here with me, babe.
God. I know, did you see me? I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Oh, there they are. St. Michael must stay.
Oh.
I don't know. It's a very Catholic town.
They shouldn't be trying to scare people.
Seriously, the only thing I can think of is Michael must stay.
Is there some festival like?
Wait, didn't they have a parade?
I saw a sign that said parade route.
Fenton Day or something? Or they already had Fenton Day? Did they already have Fenton Day? Well, you are just, you're not even cooperating right now. Why?
Nobody tried for a second.
Yes,
I mean, if they're upset with you.
they're upset. He doesn't like me. He's called me really, really bad names. Oh, shit. What did he just say?
Something me. Insulted me.
Mark.
Insulted me. I don't know, something like that.
It's like Michael said.
Yep.
Are you upset with her trying to communicate with you if you are cross?
Margaret.
Hmm?
Her name is Margaret.
Okay. Do you like Margaret?
Oh.
He doesn't.
You want Margaret to leave the room.
Do you want me to leave?
I don't think it's worth it.
Now I just thought maybe change.
Maybe you just here. I'm gonna walk out and see.
You made Margaret mad. She's leaving.
I'm
Do
leaving
you want her
here.
to leave this room?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving the room.
Are you happy now?
Have you left the building?
Is there somebody else in here that would like to communicate besides the gentleman that was talking to Margaret? One of the children?
If there's any children here, you can touch one of these wands. Let us know.
Yeah, finally, I'm moving for you.
You don't not like the guy down the road? Cross him if you don't like him.
Would you rather communicate with a compass? I don't think you're here anymore. I think you're just playing tricks on us. Okay, I'm gonna lay these down if you don't want to communicate. Yep. So usually does drink that. You use dowsing rods.
Are you glad Margaret left?
Will you talk to it?
Are you the male? Did you die when you were 42?
In the war? Yeah, that's the Air Force, plane crash.
Were you in the Air Force?
Putting it down. He said he was an officer and a gentleman.
They really are supposed to be connected.
He has the white uniform.
That would be maybe.
Did your
He was saying
airplane
Air
crash?
Force.
Okay.
Is that how you passed away in the airplane crash?
This is more sensitive.
Do we have children with us too? Are there any children in the room?
3 girls. Are you still here, girls?
Have you talked to the girls now? Are you a girl? Are you a little girl? Are you 15? What did they do to the house? The girls? They own it?
What?
The girls, they own the property?
The first one. The first one, first family lived there.
Yes, dear. Did you come in and say hi to Danny? Huh? Can you come say hi to Danny? You wanna talk to Danny? Are we bothering you? Now, when we were here last time, this was going, we were all coming up the stairs, and this was in that room in there, and it was going off as we were coming up the stairs.
I'm not sensitive at all, and I can tell you, there's someone in here. If you're in here, can you touch the REM pod there? Touch this antenna, make the lights come on.
Can you do that for Danny?
Can you do that for me? I walked in the doorway and I could feel.
Oh, my right arm is cold.
You over there by Margaret?
Can you move the little things up there? I just don't feel comfortable in here. Can you make the little puff balls move? Is it moving or is it just my imagination?
Little vertigo with a light on it.
Can you make it move?
Can you communicate with us somehow? Can you touch one of us or maybe knock on the wall? Knock on a table? We just want validation that you're in here. We just want to acknowledge that you're in here. We're having this event to preserve your home, to give you a place to stay. We don't know why you would be attached here. Maybe something significant happened to you here, but we want to preserve this place, and that's why we're here. We're not here to hurt you. So can you please interact with us and give us validation that you are here? And maybe that you appreciate us trying to save your home.
Can you knock on the wall again? Can you knock? The window, the door, the wall?
My hand? You can touch my hand?
Can you tell Danny you're here? Can you touch him?
Are we scaring you? Are you scared of us because we're strangers? We're not here to hurt you. We simply want to know you exist.
Can you knock again? There was knocking earlier. Can you knock again? Tell Danny you're here. I think most activities downstairs.
Basement, you mean?
Huh?
In the basement, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't even investigated the first floor. You know, that's something.
You heard someone, you were talking to someone.
Yeah, then knocking, it was knocking earlier on the wall.
Do you ever know who it is when they do it? I mean, do you
There are sometimes when they actually look at you and tell you what their names are, but there are so many in this building that it's just they're overlapping. It could be anything. It could be Sam. It could be anything.
Then what is my name?
You just got slave master.
What is my name if you know so much? Any part of my name.
Better yet, can you call out a name of somebody in this room? Do you know any of our names?
Who's standing over by the window?
Will you talk if I leave?
Actually, downstairs they're talking about like what was in the box.
Is there too many people in this room?
Do you hear Danny when the door slammed? And from there, the pink room, we're all standing, all of us are standing right here by the couch. And the door just, slammed shut. And that door jamb is plastic. Like that one. And it's hard plastic. You can't move it or anything. And it went flying across the room and it was twisted. Like somebody had just twisted it. And we were all standing over here by the couch and we all just looked at each other like,
This door?
no, going over here.
Oh, you broke it door?
The pink one.
Oh, okay. Alright, at this time I think we'll gather equipment. We'll go ahead and put it back in by the case. And I think the rotation should be over.
Okay. And then
We'll go down and we'll do closing ceremonies, and then we can investigate on our own. Okay.
So I know you did. Yeah, there's a lot of Bible.